Welcome. This is an actual play of a role-playing game. All the participants are adults. The content is intended for adult viewers. We strive to keep the content PG to PG-13, but it is a horror story and may contain horror themes. Viewer discretion is advised. Enjoy. Howdy, friends and floor heads. It is Thursday night. Time to get spooky with a little bit of Call of Cthulhu. This is episode 3 of The Dare, where my 4 players are playing 11-year-old kids who have decided to take a dare from a classmate named Roger to spend the night in the Barnaker house, which is a believed to be haunted house out on the outskirts of town. In the first 2 episodes, we saw them go in. They've already seen some crazy things, including a dead body. Where we're going to start things off, though, is we're going to start things off now that they're in the basement. So they made it into the basement, and they started off at the bottom of the steps, finding what had to be some sort of pantry. Unlike the rest of the house, when these kids walked into it, the rest of the house seems so large. Everything is just, open spaces, large rooms. But this pantry is different. It seems just small. So even though they're short, the ceiling just seems a little too low. The walls seem like they're a little bit closer than they should be. The shelves that line this pantry with all of their broken different containers, just everything feels just a little bit claustrophobic. There's a nasty smell of rotten fruit in the air. And we ended with poor Shirley walking into one of the doors, leaving the pantry into what was a dark room with her flashlight. And unfortunately, as she was making her way in there, her elbow hit one of the glass containers that was on the shelf. And that glass container fell and broke and shattered all over the floor. And they saw this green viscous liquid as it seeped out from the broken container. And then they noticed it was full of eyeballs. So that's where we'll start. With some sand rolls. And I think we need to start with Shirley sand roll. So can I get a sand roll as you see these eyeballs roll across the floor in this green sticky liquid?
Do I have to?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey.
That was a success. No sand lost. All right, let's try Julia.
Just some eyeballs.
Oh gosh. Okay. And 1 second. Click.
Should be able to click right on sand. There we go.
31.
Successful.
Y'all handling this like champs.
Let's do Paul.
I'm ready. No,
Uh-oh.
I wasn't ready for that.
All right, we'll come back to you, Paul. And last but not least, Charles. All right, so Paul is the only one that failed his sand check. Let's do a 1d3 real quick, Paul. So you have to do a /R 1d3.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, so if you'll drop your sand by 2, where does that put you on your daily?
9 out of 12.
All right, so you got all kinds of room. You got 3 left.
Yeah, as long as nothing else happens.
So as we see Julia and Shirley and Charles just taking in, of course, it's full of eyeballs. Paul's reaction is going to be a little bit different, I think, and I wonder what that is.
I'll just probably start hyperventilating a little bit, like, oh my god, I need my eyeballs. I don't want to lose my eyeballs.
Paul, listen. I've seen this at Halloween parties. It's probably just grapes. Just think of it as grapes. Think of it as grapes. It's grapes.
I know, I've done that one too. That is not grapes. I know what the grape eyeball thing looks like. My cousins have done that like 5 times. It gets me every time.
Don't worry, Paul. It's going to be fine, okay? We're not going to lose our eyeballs.
It's probably just the play slime. And I think Charles is going to kneel down with his little steak knife and kind of examine the slime and the eyeballs.
So you take the tip of the knife and, you're trying to kind of poke one of the eyeballs. And of course, they're just covered in this liquid, Charles. So as you kind of poke it, it kind of rolls and slips away. It's being a dodgy as you try to, but once you finally isolate it, you puncture it, and just white pussy ooze just emits from the eyeballs. It kind of deflates.
Ugh,
Well,
Nope.
is that necessary?
those might be real eyeballs.
I'm just gonna keep my eyes closed for the rest of the night.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay. Well,
The
just
guy
take one of our
upstairs didn't
hands.
have eyes, did he? The dead guy?
No, he did not. Thanks for pointing that out. It makes me feel so much more secure today.
But he only had 2 to start with, though. There's way more than that in there.
Well,
What
don't.
else is on?
Yeah,
It'll be fine. We still got our eyeballs. None of us are dead. Yes. We're fine.
Okay.
And Shirley will swing the flashlight away from the eyeballs further into the recess of the room.
So going back into kind of the door you were headed through, the archway.
Mm-hmm.
So Shirley, as you do that, you kind of shine it into this next room, which is larger, but still has that kind of confined feel to it. For some reason, I think, having those large windows, even though they were shuttered close, might have given some sense of less isolation than this room does. To the left on this room, there's a door that's closed, unlike what you're walking through right now, which didn't have a door on it. And then to the right, you see a window with glass. It's not shuttered, but of course you're in the basement. So it's about 7 feet up, and it's just a small window. And there's no light coming from outside, but that's not surprising. It's dark, except for you can't hear it from where you are. You do see every once in a while a flash of lightning that you can tell is lighting up the outside, but somehow gets muted by the time it hits the window. So it doesn't fill the room with the light you would expect. And as the flashlight starts panning to get your bearings to figure out exactly where you are, you see junk strewn all over the floor. So there's broken down furniture. There's books that have been torn to pieces and shreds, and papers everywhere. You can see cardboard boxes, and you'll notice that, like the cardboard on the boxes, you can see has been slowly eaten away by just some sort of varmint and vermin. And it just seems like everything has been not only taken down by the environment, but actively decomposed by rodents. In fact, as you step in there, you can hear the scratching, the scurrying, the reaction to the light filling the room from your flashlight. And as you shine the flashlight around, you see shadows as they scurry and hide. So they seem to hide into the junk, slide behind this, slide behind that. You don't get a real clear sense of what it is, but you know what they are. You've
Yeah.
met them personally up in the kitchen.
Yeah, Shirley will
Alright.
jerk back as soon as she hears the rats and go, uh, 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 guys, good news, bad news. Good news, there's a window. It might be small enough that we can get out. Doesn't look shuttered. Bad news is there's more rats.
There's rats.
Yeah.
Charles makes sure he has his little steak knife out.
The rat killer.
The rat killer.
Yeah, you go first.
Guys, I think I've had as much rats as I can take today. But there's a window. It's small, but maybe we can get out.
Let's just stay really close. Right? They won't attack if we're all really close together.
Right.
Okay.
Think we should light the candle so we have more light? Surely the witch won't come after the candle.
As I hold the candle, like, okay.
It wasn't hurting us before.
No, then we can have a
Yeah.
light in front of us and a light behind us.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd almost rather face a witch than these rats again. I'll be honest. So let's do what
I
we can.
have to disagree there, but
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Because I at least know we can beat the rats.
That's fair. Do
I
we
don't
have an
want the witch to
oven,
be helped.
which is like weak to ovens?
So you guys light the candle, and as the four of you work your way back into what we'll call a workroom, right? You break it in there, and you notice you have two choices, which is to step on this junk that's littering, covering the floor, kind of shuffle your feet and kind of kick it away. And each of you, do one or the other, trying to, obviously, I would assume, not make a ton of noise. You look off to the far right corner, farthest from the door, not too far from that window, that ceiling height window. And you can see a huge opening in the floor that's got to be at least 6 foot in diameter, and it's almost a perfect circle. And you can see kind of a drain grate, a rusted, cross-hatched drain grate that is covering this hole.
I don't think that's normal to be in basements.
That's terrifying.
it's probably just a storm drain.
That big?
Or a well, maybe? Like, our wells aren't normally in the basement, but it could be a well.
I thought
Let's
rain had
avoid
to
it.
go into the well to fill it up.
Rain might come in the basement.
If it floods?
Let's just
Shirley,
avoid
go
it.
take a look.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
For that.
Maybe look, peek in it.
So
Might be a way out.
you walk towards the grate. Each step, you hear the crunch of the junk under your feet. You can still hear the scurrying. They're watching you. They're trying to be quiet, but there's just too many of them to stay quiet. But they don't seem to be very interested in disturbing you. They might be just as afraid of you as you might be of them. And as you get towards the grate, there's almost a silence as the scratching stops and the kind of the chittering stops. And you hear pop, 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 coming from the top of the steps.
Oh. He's coming. Should we hide?
Yeah, we
Should
need
we
to
duck?
hide.
Yeah.
I'm like diving into a pile of junk.
But the rat's in there.
Shirley will put her hand over the flashlight and kind of like tilt it towards the floor.
I'll
off. There's a switch.
blow up the candle.
And Charles
the
moves
candle.
back and tries to get in the dark.
So each of you will have each of you kind of find a spot, right? That's a little bit away from the door. Some of you are next to that secondary door I talked about. Some of you are pushing off into the other back corner. And there's enough like broken tables and chairs that you may not be able to completely conceal yourself unless you want to bury yourself in this junk. But if someone were to walk through the door, it would take them a while to be able to sort out you from the junk. And you can hear the creaking of the stairs. And it's slow and methodical. It's just a so whoever or whatever's coming down these steps doesn't appear to be in a big hurry.
Do we hear them say anything upon the firecrackers?
Not a sound. The only thing you've heard was the popping of the firecrackers, which was the trap that you had set to be notified when that door got opened. And then them making its way down the steps.
Can we tell
I may
if they
actually
sound-
put like a. I may actually like put a piece of cardboard over my head, like laying back, like to be fully covered.
Do they sound kid size or adult size, or can we tell?
I think it's a little tough to tell, Charles, and maybe as you're trying to attune your ears to that to try to kind of suss that out, it stops.
Oh.
And it's hard to tell whether who or what stopped on the steps or maybe reached the bottom of the steps. And then you hear the crunching of glass as it steps on the broken glass container that was knocked over by Shirley.
Squelching of eyeballs.
And then your eyes have now adjusted to no light, the candle's out, the flashlight's off, and you've got that pseudo night vision that happens as you start to be able to discern the differences even in the dark, and you see a figure kind of fill the door that you just came through from the pantry. And maybe it's a little bit of the light coming from the window up above, but you can see the glint of the knife in its right hand. There's no doubt in your mind who it is. And he stops right at the door.
Gonna grip the pan I got.
Yeah, I pull my knife. How big is the room? How big did you say?
I would say roughly maybe like 15 foot by 10 foot. So it's a decent size, much bigger than that pantry, but it's not huge by any stretch of the imagination. Not as big as you wish it was.
Yeah. I think I'm going to try to stay silent and hidden.
Same.
So we see Roger kind of shuffle his feet as he goes towards this drain. And as he moves towards it, you can hear the door to the steps open. You can hear it creak. And he goes over to this drain and he starts to use the knife to kind of as a kind of a crowbar. And you can tell it takes Roger a lot of effort. Now, Roger's much taller, much stronger than any of the four of you, but it's taking Roger a considerable amount of effort, even with the leverage of this knife. And you can just hear the grate just strain against his efforts until finally you hear, and it takes his hand and he lifts up and sets the grate off to the side, not fully uncovering the hole. So the hole's maybe about half uncovered. And he stands up and faces the door he came in through. And you hear thud, 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 as something's slowly falling down the stairs, maybe?
Shirley is sort of crouched in her corner. And she's very, very quietly, barely like making any noise at all, just going, A scout is brave. A scout is brave. A scout is brave. And she, yeah, she has the flashlight almost like a club. Like, not that it would do any good.
So I'm not sure if you were expecting another figure to kind of fill the doorway again, but it doesn't. But you hear something getting dragged through the glass. And from under the cardboard, from behind the table, you've all got at least one eye, right? Kind of peeking to try to take in what's happening. Roger has not moved. Since he has moved that grate to open up that hole about halfway, he's just standing there facing the door. And you can see Ace, his big brother, being dragged along the floor. And at first, it looks like maybe that's 2 or 3 possums, like big possums, right? Easily the size of maybe a medium-sized dog. And there's 3 of them. And they've got their teeth just in his clothes, and they're dragging him through the waste at the bottom of this workroom. I need 4 luck rolls.
So bitch, okay.
Oh boy.
My last team luck roll went really well.
Yep.
Julia passes. Julia passes. Paul
Oh, no.
fails, and Charles passes.
Oh,
no!
So, Paul, I'm going to have you be the closest to this. And you're the first one that takes this information in. And no one else really notices, but you notice. Those aren't possums. I mean, they're big. Those tails are hairless. And the hair on them is not that dark speckled gray like you would have on a possum. It's jet black. And when you're looking to how they're dragging this thing, they're using their mouth, right? And at this point, you've probably seen more rats in the last hour than you've seen your entire life. They don't have faces of rats. In fact, they have 3 different faces. Each of them is like a grotesque mimicry of a child's face. And you can just see these huge rodents with these human faces that are slightly distorted, slightly twisted, almost in that uncanny valley. And you see the body getting drugged by these things. You know what's next?
I fall asleep.
It's possible. Let's roll the dice and see.
I'm going to just go to sleep. Wake up when this is all over.
No, Charles, I don't need it from you. You have not seen this. Right now, only Paul has. So now you
Okay.
unfortunately wasted that.
And that was such a good roll.
Paul, I
You
need a
should
one.
give it to Paul. You should, that
I
should be.
need a 1d4.
Oh no.
Paul, it'd be great if it was not a 3.
3 is what I got. So
All right, and that takes you right to your daily limit, right?
it sure does.
Okay, so at this point, you don't lose it, but you're as close to being on the edge of losing it as you ever have in your entire life. I think if somebody were to drop a pen right now, it might break you. So take me to the head of Paul for just a second as he sees these faces, these children's faces.
Where's the door, and where am I, and where are they?
So you're the closest to them. They're in front of you. In fact, I think if you stretched, not just arm's length, but really kind of leaned forward and stretched, you probably could touch Ace as he's being dragged across the floor. The door is to your left, though. So they have cleared the door at this point. If you were to stand up and run, you could make it to the door, I think, before any of these things could react. I don't know how much past the door you'd get before they react, but if you wanted to run it for the door, you could.
I think that's what I want to do, but my legs aren't currently working. So I'm like, let's go. Come on, legs. Let's get up. Let's get out of here. So I'm taking a moment to like try to convince my body to move right now.
Once the body gets to the open grate, the half open grate, Roger then takes some of the jacket and the tank top that Ace was wearing, and he lifts the upper body of Ace. Again, exhibiting a strength that, even as strong as you believe Roger to be, this seems stronger. And he just finishes the work of these child-faced rodents and drags Ace, and you can hear the body fall. And as best guess, when you hear the wet thud that hits the bottom of this hole, maybe this is about 10 or 11 feet deep. Each of these rodent rat things come up to Roger. One at a time, Roger pets them like they're his little pet dogs. And when he does, they head back to the door they came in. And we see Roger pulling the grate, making more noise than you've heard in this room in a while as it scrapes on the concrete floor and just clangs as it comes short.
Shirley really wanted to do something very stupid.
I really want to hit him. In fact,
I really
Julia really want to hit him and just
Yeah.
ah!
Yeah.
Oh,
He starts
Had
to
to just half open it, didn't he?
He starts to walk towards the door, back towards the door he came in. And he reaches the edge, the portal, and he stops. He turns around and kind of casually crosses his arms and leans against the door jamb, facing your room, facing where the four of you are hiding. There's only one way out of here, and that's the hole. You chickens.
Shirley will stand up and turn the light on and shine it right at him.
Get him in the eyes.
Yeah, and in her other hand, she's reaching back into her pouch, and she is pulling out the BB gun pistol that she had, and she is going to point it at him and says, "Roger, just give us the key. You got Ace, you got whatever revenge you needed to get. Just give us the key and let us get the heck out of here."
And I'm imagining, Shirley, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm imagining, you holding this BB pistol and kind of have the flashlight at the same time.
Yeah,
Kind of this
yeah.
poor version of X-Files, where you've got the
Right.
gun and the flashlight at the same time. And we can see the light just kind of shake, right? Which adds all kinds of effed up shadows to an already creepy Roger as your light just is shining on him. And it can't have been 15 minutes since you saw him last, but you'd swear that he doesn't look as well as he did 15 minutes ago, and he didn't look so well when you guys were on the second floor. It seems like he's more discolored, that like paint peeling, his skin seems to be kind of peeling off. I told you, you have to find the key. I don't have it.
Is that a gun?
Are you?
Don't. Who has it, Roger? Who has the key?
Not me.
Are we at least Warm, Roger.
Well, you're getting warmer. Come on, guys. You're like almost halfway through the night. I didn't think you little spazzes were going to make it this far anyway.
There's no other way out of the room, right? Got to go by Roger
Just
or
there's
down
one
in the.
door, but we have
There
to
was
have to go
another
by
door
Roger.
that was closed.
There's a
Um,
window.
And then there's
There's
that
a
window is
grate.
about 7 foot off the off
There
the
is the
ground.
hole.
I
There
don't
is
think
the
that's the
hole.
way out.
So Shirley, you've got the gun pointed. We've got the shaking
Yeah.
shaking flashlight.
I think I'm
All
gonna.
right.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna. She was gonna kind of like half look back at them and just be like, okay, let's just we got one more door in here. Let's just go to that door. If he tries anything, I'll shoot him. I will shoot you, Roger. I will. I'm too
Okay.
scared. Just go, guys, please, please.
Okay. Julie's like gonna crawl out of her hiding place.
I'm gonna.
And he's completely focused on you, Shirley. So even though there's now movement, now the 3 other kids are kind of coming out from the garbage that covers this floor, he's only looking at you. And he's watching you as you move towards this door on the far side. So this is the wall to the farthest away from this grate and where the
Mhm.
window is. And there's a bunch of debris in front of it, but you can keep the gun aimed at him, your BB gun aimed at him as you kind of kick it, right? To kind of free yourself from the door. And as you reach for the doorknob, after everything you've been through, you're just waiting for another startle, right?
Mhm.
And what startles you is Roger when he says, "You're getting colder."
Oh God. Oh God, guys.
Just what is it? What's the room? What's in there?
No, it's not in
look.
the room. It's not in the room, guys. The key is down in that grate.
The dead
I just
brother.
think we should check the room
No,
first.
it's not. Let's not check the grate first. Oh
And Ch-
my gosh, no.
Can Charles remember anything like this in one of his spooky stories?
I mean, nothing I think that's beyond unique to what everybody else is thinking, Charles, right? Like Roger's not okay. So yeah, you may have read more stories about voodoo and zombies and stuff like that than the other 3 of them, but they've all seen those scary movies, those black and white scary movies, on Saturday mornings or Saturday, at
Mhm.
midnight. So no, I don't think there's any advantage you have as far as understanding what the
Okay.
hell's going on right now.
Julie's gonna walk closer to the grate and see if he says if it's warmer or not, or colder.
So he doesn't say anything as you kind of shuffle towards the grate, but instead of being focused on Shirley, he now turns to look at you.
Oh gosh.
And you just see this half smirk. That asshole Roger half smirk just grow on his face.
Maybe just shoot him anyway.
Yeah, in the eye. Give us some time.
I've got him. Just check. Just here. One of you light the candle and the other one take the flashlight so you can look. Just light the candle and stay near me. And then somebody else can use the flashlight. That way I can see him.
I run the flashlight back.
Julia does not mind holding the flashlight next to her.
Okay. Just keep it on. Yeah, just
Or
keep
candle.
the candle up to where I can see Roger, but use the flashlight to see what's in there.
Is that what we do?
Maybe Charles should look in the hole, and maybe I'll sit down.
I think that's an excellent idea.
That's fair.
Paul, just stand behind me, okay? Okay, I can just stand behind me.
Paul, do you want my knife?
No, I don't think that's a good idea at all.
All right, so I guess I take a peek down the grate.
So you shine the flashlight down, Charles. And, as deliberate and manufactured as the top of this hole looks, right? It's a perfect circle. The grate has obviously been installed on whatever this hole or drain or whatever the hell it is. The first thing you notice as you shine the light down is the walls are the same width, circular as the hole, right? So it's a perfect tube all the way down. But the walls aren't brick. They're not concrete. It's packed dirt. So unfinished. And the only thing that is of notice is what appears maybe to be some sort of maybe handholds, or maybe where somebody like shoved their hand into the dirt and almost created like this makeshift step down ladder. And as you follow that down with the flashlight, you can see, the dirt, even though it's packed, it's kind of moist and wet, almost like a muddy film maybe on top of it. You finally reach the bottom, and now we're pushing the limits of this flashlight. So it's not nearly as bright as it's stretching down about 12 feet. And you can see face down Roger's body. And that sleeveless jean jacket he was wearing, you can see this kind of really bad spray painted dragon pattern that he has on the back of his jean jacket. And you can just see his body laying at the bottom of this. And what's revealing is that his feet extend out beyond your sight. So it's obvious that this is about a 12-foot drop into a tunnel of some sort.
Jesus Christ.
What about Ace?
I think that was Ace. Is what
That was
we
Ace.
meant.
Did I say
Yeah.
Roger? I meant Ace.
You said Roger, which I fully
Sorry.
believed.
Oh, yeah, that would have been cool.
I was like,
Think about that.
ah.
No, you see Ace's body. I apologize.
Okay.
So the grate's still halfway open, isn't it?
No,
Or
he
no,
closed
he
it.
pulled it. I think I'm going to reach down and see if I could even move it, because I know it was hard for Roger, and I'm not the strongest person.
So you reach down, Charles, and as your hand kind of grips around the metal's cold, and it kind of flakes. You can feel like the rust flake off as you kind of grip it, and you give it a very tentative yank, and nothing moves, and give it a little bit more. You're and oddly, you're like, why are you trying to be quiet? but you yank it again and decide to really give it everything you've got, and you can tell that it can come off, right? You feel the give, but even if you were to take both hands and to bend down and lift with your back, that there's no way that just you is going to be able to move this grate off of where it's kind of fixed and set in, covering this hole.
And I'm watching Roger the whole time. What's his reaction when he goes to tugging on the grate?
And this says a lot considering how Roger looks. It's really unnerving how calm he looks and how quiet he is as he's just watching, like he's a stranger on the street just watching people walk by.
Julia, can you help me lift the grate?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, Julius, I'm going to give the candle to Paul. Protect us with your life.
What do you see down there? What's down there?
Well, I see Ace, but it looks like there's another tunnel.
Oh,
If we could get to the bottom.
We can't keep going down. This is
I was
not
gonna-
good.
I was going to try to go down and see if I could see anything.
Oh my gosh. I don't think that's a great idea.
But
No,
Roger's
no.
got a knife, and I'm not strong enough to beat him.
I wouldn't mind leaving this house, even if it's through a sewer.
Julie's gonna go over and help defeat it.
So just real quick, I need Charles's strength. No, don't roll. I just need to know the value. What's Charles's strength and Julia's strength?
30.
Strength, you say? Would that be under skills?
No, it'll be up towards the top there. STR.
Oh, 40.
All right, so together
Wow.
70. So both of you now kind of yank, and Julia you might go through the same process Charles does. And Charles, it's giving more, right? So Julia is helping. Her lifting with you is making a difference, but you can also quickly tell, both of you can quickly tell that together with ours, you still are not going to be able to lift this thing.
All right, fine.
You're a lot stronger than I am. Come on.
But I mean, surely 3 of us are as strong as Roger is.
Yeah, just set the candle down. I've still got Roger.
Okay, guard this with your life.
Yeah, that's how it's feeling right now. Yep.
My strength is 35.
So Paul, you get over there, and now we've got a bit of a triangle happening, right? Where you guys are equidistant from each other, each of you getting a good grip on this grate. And the first pull really gives the most give. And then the second pull up, it shifts. So it just slides a little bit. You've taken it out of its recess and kind of popped it out and slid it off, maybe exposing maybe 6 inches of an opening on that grate, and the steel rim that was kind of inset in there lifts out with it. So you've got, basically like a grated sewer cover that you guys have kind of lifted and moved. And if the 3 of you want to continue, you definitely can get this thing shifted off, and you may not be able to lift it, but the 3 of you are going to be able to shift it and, make it so that this opening is large enough for your body.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So we hear that, and surely you can hear just the metal scraping, right, as they are shifting, and you hear the exertion from the 3 of them. You can just tell it's taking a lot for these 3 11-year-old kids to move this heavy metal grate. Even though it's decrepit and old, it's still heavy as hell. And you keep going, and you can, like I said, it's about 6 foot wide. You can get it right at 3 foot, which once you get a 3 foot open, if one of you wants to go down, you can. If you want to push it and open up more than that, we can as well.
Roger, do you want to go first?
We should open it all the way, so in case he pushes us all in, he'll have longer to close it.
I got him right now. We don't have to all go in it at the moment. Just go down to scout.
I'll go down.
I've got him at the moment, and I look at Roger, and to kind of keep him maybe a little distracted, I say, Roger, are you working for the witch?
Kind of tilts his head. And he kind of rolls his eyes back a little bit. You can tell he's thinking. And maybe in this moment, he seems more Roger than you've seen him since the night you were here, right? Into all of this, you can just see that kind of clueless expression that Roger would make at school sometimes if you were to ask him something that he was like, "Oh, I don't feel like thinking." And he goes, "I don't know. I don't know." And Shirley, as you're standing there, and the candle's on the floor, and the candle's providing a decent amount of light in this room, and of course the flame is flickering, which again is just crazy, creating these shadows. And we've got the flashlight that's kind of rolling on the ground because they had to set it aside as they were moving this grate. And you could swear everything's looking at you. You can see the glint of those animal eyes behind this book and on top of that chair, and you just feel completely exposed
Mm-hmm.
and watched.
So she's nervous, so she's going to keep talking to him, and she says, what what happened, Roger? How did this happen to you?"
Again, kind of doesn't make eye contact with you anymore, and kind of moving his eyes left and right and up and down. Nothing. Nothing.
Nothing happened to you?
I don't think so. Okay, look, you guys, you chickens need to find the key. That's what you guys have to do. And yeah, you guys have to find the key. You have to find the key. It's the only way you're going to get out. And I don't think you chickens are going to make it. And have I told you that you're ugly and you're stupid and you smell and you're ugly too, as he points to each one of you.
Roger, what are you getting out of
Seeing-
this?
I get to watch you four. So scary.
Seeing this change in Roger of what like she doesn't know like psychological terms, but it horrified her. Like just this entire like, okay, I think I really go in a tunnel as well. Like that seems like the much safer option than being here in this moment.
And he still has that big ass knife, as he's got, even though he's got his arms crossed, that knife has not left his grip. Charles, you now have room. Now the three of you have gotten this grate across, as Shirley has been keeping Roger occupied.
Shirley, do you want my knife?
No, I've got my. Give it to Julia. I've got my gun right now. I can.
No,
I got
you,
yeah.
you
If he
need
comes
to
any
keep your
closer,
weapon.
Okay. So I put the
Yes.
knife, the handle in my mouth, like I'm some hero guy.
Make sure the sharp side's pointing out, please. Don't cut your
Okay.
tongue off.
Okay.
Safety first.
Okay. And I checked to make sure because I'm not sure if it was.
I'll hold the flashlight so he's not diving into pure darkness.
How are we getting down here?
Oh,
Uh,
there were
There's handholds
stairs.
on the
Yeah.
side.
Oh, okay. Well, that was thoughtful.
Okay,
Almost
guys.
deliberate.
Wish me luck.
Oh, Julie's like, do you want me to come with you?
Let me try to go down first.
Okay.
Just keep
Be
the light
careful.
on.
Okay.
All right. So Charles starts to move over the edge, and
And you kind of put your foot like in the third or fourth handhold down, as you kind of stretch your leg down, and yeah, that seems a little bit firmer than maybe you expected with the dirt. It seems pretty packed in, and still holding to on the concrete of the floor. You kind of work your next leg down and kind of find the foothold there, and the three of you slowly see Charles's head sink into the ground as he lowers himself down. And Charles, as you work yourself to maybe 9 or so feet from the bottom, maybe 2 or 3 feet above you, we've got Julia shining the light, trying to keep her hand steady. I'm going to need a gym class roll.
Oh no.
nice knowing you guys.
At least you've got Ace to cushion your fall.
Yep.
If you fall, Julia's coming down with you.
The sharp side's out. Oh no.
Let's see. And to 20%. Yeah, you're not going to spend luck on this one.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
So Julie, you're watching this in real time, but it feels like slow motion, where you can kind of see Charles trying to get his foot on this foothold that's a little bit off center to where he was climbing. You see him reaching his leg out, and he thinks he's got it, and he puts some weight on it, and you can see him slip, but he catches himself and slowly kind of puts his foot back down and kind of catches that, and he kind of looks up at you like I got it, and then he slips And you just see the look on his face as he goes from "thank God I got it" to "holy shit." And we see him fall.
Charles.
And as we see him fall, we'll take a 10-minute break. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Now, Shirley and Paul, you obviously can't see this, right? Because this is all happening beyond your line of sight. But Julia's reaction tells you exactly what's happening because we see Julia. Julia, I'm imagining you reaching your arm out down to try to grab Charles, even though there's no way, right? There's no way your arm is long enough. And even if you did catch him, he'd probably just bring you down with him. But Julia, you make a noise that everybody, recognizes as, oh my God, Charles fell. And at that time, right before Shirley and Paul's heads turned, Shirley, you've got that gun aimed at Roger. You've got the flickering of the candle happening. You've got these little tiny rodent eyes all staring at you from different corners of this room. You see the two of these things that were dragging Ace appear next to Roger's feet. And for the first time, you see their faces. You see these tiny child faces that are like this big around. And instead of a pointy rodent face, it's a flat face of this little child as you're looking at it. So I need a quick sand roll from you. Then we're going to cut to Charles.
Yes, the quickest of sand rolls.
Just pop one of those out.
Bam.
Yeah.
I'm good at this.
Everybody but poor Paul is killing it right now with the rolls. So you see these things, and I have to know, Shirley, how are you? I mean, it's one thing to see rats, it's one thing to see eyeballs, falling out from a jar, but this is something else, and yet somehow you're able to keep it together.
She's kind of calculating it. She's looking at it. She's thinking. She's like, you know what? These things are flipping weird, but they should be small enough that a BB gun would maybe dissuade them a little bit. Like, and then she's kind of analyzing, like, that's not a rat. That's not like, it's big enough to be like, probably weighs like 2-3 pounds. Like, she's very like
For the calculations.
Well, and I think she's crisis managing, right? She's had a lot of this kind of like preparation for things to go wrong. So she's had her moment last session where she freaked out, and now she's like, I've got to get control of this group again. I've got to get control of things. So yeah, she's and she dips the gun a little bit like onto the rats and then pulls them back up to Roger.
And we cut to Julia's viewpoint as we see Charles in kind of this Hans Gruber slow motion kind of falling backwards down the hole. I need a luck roll first.
Okay.
Oh,
To land on Ace.
come on, Charles.
You got this, buddy.
We see the knife come out of your mouth as it opens and just kind of drift away from your body as you land right on Ace's back. And it knocks the wind out of you. Give me a 1d6 real quick.
Oh,
What's your health?
9.
It's fine.
All right, let's drop it down to 3. So not only does this knock the wind out of you, but losing 2/3 of your health as you land on top of Ace, you try to catch your breath as the wind's knocked out of you. You can feel the damage to your back and to your ribs. And Julia, as you've got the light almost, the light's like stretching, trying to give you as much visibility as it can, but the batteries aren't strong enough. You can see Roger's eyes close.
I get up and run over.
Charles's eyes close. I don't know why everybody's Roger for some reason.
Oh gosh.
let's
gonna-
not have that ending.
Charles.
Julie's gonna be like, oh crap. Oh no.
Is he okay?
I don't think so. I'm
He's not
going
moving.
down. Julie is going to start to climb down.
What are you doing with the flashlight? Because this is going to take 2 hands.
I'll take it.
She's going to like put it in her puffy dress of her princess outfit. So the light's still like kind of pointing here. And start climbing down.
So Julia, you do the same. So you start putting your footholds in, and you're at a bit of an advantage because you've kind of watched Charles do this. So you're kind of tracing your steps. You're being very careful before you put any weight on the next handhold that you've got your foot in, that you've got your hand in, and you're right about the same spot Charles was in. And let's get a gym class roll.
All right. It won't let me click it on the maximum one. Ugh.
Is it rolling for you?
It's not rolling in the gym class.
Okay, let me just take a quick look to make sure we didn't unlock. Oh, it's because you're unlocked. I just locked it for you. Now try it.
Okay. There we go. 18.
So you're not going to fall, but what happens?
Okay. She's going to, as she's coming down, she's going to hit like each of the foot and hand holds, and like there's probably like a few feet left, and she's just going to jump down right next to them so she doesn't chance it anymore.
And you jump like 2.5, 3 feet, right? So
Mhm.
but a decent jump for a
Mhm.
kid your size, and you land, and obviously you don't land on Charles, but your foot does kind of crush and press Ace's hand like kind of into the mud as you land on Ace's hand, and you see Charles laying there. His eyes are closed. You can see his chest moving though.
Okay, he's breathing. Uh, I don't know. She's gonna like still check like his breathing with her hand. Like, okay, there's air coming out, and like
He's
kind of,
okay. Are you okay?
I'm okay. He's breathing. He just sleep, and she's gonna like gently like nudge his shoulder.
Charles, now is no time to sleep.
Charles, Charles.
And this will wake you up, Charles.
Oh, what happened?
You fell.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Did it look cool?
yeah.
The knife is like stuck in the mud, like right next to
Right,
you.
right beside his head.
It looked awesome.
Do I see the rat monsters?
You do.
Hey, Julia, what else? Is there anything else down there?
Oh yeah, she's gonna take the light out and like start shining it.
So you shine it around, and Paul and Shirley, you can kind of see as Julia's doing that, the light every once in a while will flash and shine up, from this hole. And Julia, as you kind of look, you look around your feet, obviously immediate vicinity first, and you see Ace there. You can see the blood, that the stains of the blood, and he's still. It seems like he's still bleeding. Charles is there trying to kind of get himself up a little bit, and you shine the flashlight down where his feet are extended, where Ace's feet are extended, and the flashlight shines down. You see the tunnel,
Uh, it's a tunnel.
and it
Uh,
might be 5 foot from top to bottom. So, without scrouching, you guys, your head might kind of rub up against the ceiling of it, but it's definitely big enough to kind of go down, and you can tell, though the flashlight does not extend to the end of the tunnel. You can tell the tunnel continues past where the flashlight is able to reach. You definitely can tell that there is a decline, right? That it's going downhill.
Okay, out, and it's long, and I'm pretty sure it's going further into the depths of hell.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how messed up is it?
Uh, there's only one dead body,
I mean,
and
we knew that.
that's it.
Okay, I'm gonna look back at the rat monsters and then down in the hole, kind of back and forth. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm coming down.
Okay.
Shirley, what's the plan? Are you good
You
to?
go down. I'll come down after.
Be
Okay, be
careful. It's
careful.
really slippery.
I'm gonna do exactly what you did. So Shirley, I don't have to roll. Gym class roll.
So we see Paul kind of work his way, and he lays on his stomach as he slides his legs into the hole and kind of gets his footholds, and he's taking his time, and he begins working his way down. Julie the whole time has got the flashlight shined up, and Julie, if it's okay with you, I'm going to have you go, no, don't use that one,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh yeah.
doing that. So I do need a gym class roll, Paul, but you're going to get a bonus die.
No. Your feet should be 5 inches
Although-
higher.
There's no hey.
Wow.
Okay. So that's
I
a
do a
critical
backflip off the end.
that's a critical success with a 1. Obviously, Paul, you make it all the way down. And what I'm actually going to do here with that crit is, and tell me how you feel, if you're okay with this. You are going towards your friends. You're getting away from Roger. I think I need a 1d4 restored sanity. So roll me a 1d4 and increase your sanity by that amount.
I was thinking something similar.
So yeah, so
I only
let's
get one pass from the dice, but I'll take it.
That's all right. That's add one to your sand and make sure that your daily goes down 1. So you've got a little bit more wiggle room as we see Paul work his way down.
I cannot modify my daily, even after I added.
Is it still at 9? Or no,
Mine's
you
at
were right at
12.
12, right?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can do it. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, it it went up another one when I was messing with it. Should be at 11.
All right, what should your sand be right now? I see it
My-
at 49.
49 is correct. I tried putting
Okay.
it, like ticking it again to see if it would fix the.
Let me just try something here. Yeah, that's not what I wanted to do. So let me try this. Let me see if I can unlock it and modify it manually. No.
I mean, I can remember.
Yeah, so you're at 11, right? So we'll just
Yeah.
remember that. Okay.
Yeah.
Shirley, you're now by yourself.
Yeah.
With a candle burning. You see Paul's head vanish.
She's still looking at Roger and these things, and she goes, "Okay, I'm going down the hole. Is that good, Roger? Am I going to have any trouble?"
You can stay up here with me.
Dick.
Yeah. Okay. So what she will do is she will very quickly grab the candle, move to like put her gun kind of like in her pants pocket, like move to the the entrance. Realize the pistol in her pocket is probably not a good idea. Put the safety on, throw it down the hole. Tamp
God.
the candle, toss it down the hole, and
Throw
then
the pot down too.
and then try to like scurry down the hole as fast as she can.
Okay, so you're getting the same direction both from Paul and from Julia with the light. Let's do a bonus die gym class roll.
Okay. Bonus die +1.
Very nice. Very, very nice. So we see Shirley work her way down. And Shirley, you're about 2/3 of the way down, getting good directions from your friends. Charles is kind of sat up at this point and kind of has his back up against the dirt wall. And we see Julia, using the flashlight to light your way, but it's also shining past you and shining up. And you can see Roger's head kind of lean over, watching as you continue to climb down. And you can hear water kind of dripping down the hallway. And your nostrils, for all 4 of you, your nostrils fill with the smell of rotting fruit and rotting meat and feces and just that awful vinegar stale urine smell that just permeates through this hole in this tunnel. As Shirley, you finally reach the bottom, grab your gun that you tossed down.
I'll hand the candle over to Paul and get him to light it again.
Can this is gross. Can Julie wants to check Ace's pockets in case he has anything that can possibly use to help them.
He's got to have a switchblade, right? He's
So
that guy.
You go through his pockets, and there's candy wrappers, and you find his wallet. He's got a couple dollars in his wallet. It's odd though. You find like a small Ziploc bag, and you pull it out, Julian. You look at it, and God, is that like parsley in there, or no? That's weird. Maybe like I don't know,
Okay.
like bay leaf, maybe crushed bay leaf, and you've got it in your hand, and you can't figure out what the hell is in that little baggie.
Guys, what is this? This is it's witchcraft, isn't it?
Shirley will look at it and
I
she'll
want
kind
a
of
nature roll from Shirley.
I don't think witches use Ziploc bags.
no, she's no clue.
Oh no, you know exactly what it is, Shirley. It is obviously witch's bane,
clearly.
and you're 100% sure
right.
that is a cult witch's bane.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
that's like, I think that's called like witch's bane. Like we could use.
Oh damn, we should keep
maybe-
it.
Yeah, maybe we should keep it, and then like we could sprinkle it around us in like a circle, right? Isn't that right, Charles? We could do like circles, like magic circles, right?
Yeah,
I thought
we
you were
could do
supposed
that.
to burn it like sage.
I don't think so. I think you put it on the ground and you make a complete circle with no breaks in it.
Maybe we put it on the ground and then burn it.
Let's just take it and get out of here.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, I will. I don't. I would put it in Shirley's pocket because.
So I don't want to break immersion, but I've got to call this out. FDR just did 420 bits. 420 is perfect. So who's going to take the witch's bane?
I want to give it to Shirley because I don't have any actual pockets.
Yeah.
Well, in my jacket pocket. I'll put it in my jacket pocket then.
Okay.
So yeah. Like, all right. She feels better now that they have the witch's bane.
Yeah, you would. All right. If Roger is still looking down at us, I would like to move out of his line of sight.
And he is.
Shoot him in the face.
I don't like that.
Before Charles leaves, he wants to find his knife.
Which you do.
Hey Shirley, why do you have a gun?
Yeah, actually, why?
She looks up at Roger and she goes, let's go down the hallway, I'll tell you.
Okay.
And unfortunately, as tight as this is, you almost have to single file as you work your way down. So just give me a quick marching order. Who's in front, who's second, who's third, who's fourth?
I'll be in the back just because I don't want our most hurt members to get like surprised behind.
Shirley will take the flashlight again with the gun and get to the front, and
I'll go second.
As they get down the hallway, Shirley will kind of lean back a little bit and she'll go, guys, it's just a BB gun. Like, I just, use it for target practice. Like, I'm just practicing. I've got like a real pistol at home, but like, this is the BB gun. Like,
But I heard
Why
if
would
you
you
shoot
bring
it-
it?
Home?
I mean, yeah, I've done range shooting. Have you never done range shooting? Like, it's the best part of scout camp.
Oh.
But why did you bring it tonight?
I heard if you shoot somebody in the arm, they could get poisoned and die.
Maybe we should shoot Roger in the arm.
I think Roger's already poisoned, guys. But I mean, I always be prepared, okay? That's what the handbook says, and that's what I was trying to do. And nothing prepared me for rats and dead bodies and holes and jars full of eyeballs. So I feel safer. Okay, I feel better.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm glad you
Yeah,
have it.
I'm happy. We're not. I don't think anyone's upset about this. Like we're.
Okay, sorry. I'm just really like, I'm good. I'm good.
So we're working our way
It
down the
stinks in
tunnel.
here.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does. It does, Paul. It really smells. Um, not enough to get your gag reflex going, but oh god, and it's not getting better as you work your way down this tunnel. And this tunnel's got to be 30 feet. And Shirley, you're in front. You've got your flashlight as you are just hear the squishing of your feet as they kind of work their way into the ground, into the kind of this wet, matted dirt. And before you get to it, we'll have your flashlight shine about 20 feet ahead of you. So you notice that the tunnel obviously opens up. So you can tell that it opens up to a larger chamber, and there's nothing really to see from where you are, but you're about 20 feet away from where this tunnel opens up into something.
Okay. Guys, there's something coming up. Just give me a second. Just shh. And Shirley's gonna listen. Just kind of like lean in a little bit and listen.
So you hear noise, skittering. You hear dripping water, and you can tell that where you're headed is larger, right? Because you can almost hear the water as it's dripping, kind of echoing a bit. That's all you can really pick up.
Does it sound like running water or just dripping water?
More like dripping water.
Does it? And I feel like Shirley would probably know this. Does it sound like it's dripping into a pool or dripping onto the ground?
Maybe into a pool.
Okay. All right. Guys, there's like, I think there's some sort of water up ahead. We just need to just keep your eyes out, okay? Like, who knows what this is?
I
What
hope
year
it's
is
not
this?
gray water.
I mean, that's why that grate in this was probably a well at some point. Like, this house is super old, so maybe it was a well, and this is like an underground channel. But the cool thing is that if there's water, then there's a possibility that it leads out.
I'm
Right?
thinking it
Water
might have
always
been a
flows somewhere,
drain.
right? Water always moves. So maybe we can find a way out, guys. Maybe this is it. You know?
You have the witch's bane.
Yes.
And Shirley definitely sounds like she is trying to make herself believe this. And she'll
Good
kind of
enough.
move forward into the space.
So you get to the opening, and it's larger than the extent and the reach of your flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to be 30 or more feet deep and wide, and you kind of shine your flashlight ahead of you. Nobody else can really see. You're kind of blocking their view,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see the dirt continues. It's just this packed dirt, and you kind of shine it off to your right a little bit, and you can see the far right wall. And as soon as you see that wall, immediately by instinct, I would imagine you try to see how high this is, and you
Mm-hmm.
shine your light up, and it looks like it goes up maybe at least 15 feet. So really, really high. And as your hand goes to shine at kind of the ceiling again, now we're really stretching how much visibility you're getting from this flashlight. I don't know if you can see them, but between the smell and the shadows that they're casting, you feel pretty sure the things hanging from the ceiling are bats,
All right.
but they
I'll,
seem still.
Yeah. I'll look back and I'll go, guys, we have to be very, very quiet. Okay. I'll kind of like, don't panic. There are bats up there. They're fine. They're roosting. If we make a big noise, we could scare them. So we have to be really quiet, okay?
Hey, we wanted to see bats.
What
Oh,
are their
it's not
faces?
bad.
look
Yeah, we're gonna
I
see
love
bats.
bats. I have always wanted to see a bat. I have never seen one.
What we
What do their
don't want to
faces
see
look
them,
like?
we don't want to see them flying at us. So, like, let's just be very quiet and very careful, and you'll see them, the shadows and stuff. So let's just, make our way carefully.
So
And
as you
she'll
work,
start.
yeah,
Yeah, she'll
you
start.
work your way into this cavern, Shirley, and the ground is a little bit wetter. It's a little bit softer as your feet hit it. The smell is enormous, and it seems like when you come down to the kitchen sometimes and turn the light on, you can see like that roach hide.
Mm-hmm.
As your light is passing through, you see rats scurrying away from the light.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see them scurry. Some go into the walls. So there's obviously some sort of holes in some of the walls as you see them just kind of vanish into the walls. They're very uninterested in having this flashlight shown on them. And it's almost like you're chasing them away as you move the light over to try to get your bearings. And this cavern is huge. And them going into the walls surprises you, but it makes sense, right? That there would be, rat holes in there. And it's where the other ones hide that is likely not expected. Because as you shine the light to the left, more towards the center of this cavern, you see these rats run from your light and they scurry and hide into what has to be at least a 15-foot tall, at least 15, 20-foot wide, stacked pile of bones. And you see animal skulls, you see bones that are bigger than animal bones, and you're afraid you know what they are. And it's just a stack of bones that pyramid up beyond the extent of your flashlight, but it looks like they might even reach the ceiling. And you hear the clink, clink, clink as the bones kind of fall as these rats kind of burrow themselves and hide inside of this pile.
So to ask if this was a pyramid shape, Craig, we have a bad history with pyramid-shaped things.
It is pyramid shaped, I guess.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the
Shirley,
cinematic universe now.
Shirley will say,
Craig Shipman.
let's stay away from that, okay? Like that does not look fun. Yep, we're going forward. We're ignoring the pile of bones. We're going forward.
That's a big pile of bones.
The bats.
As you
Hey,
shine
a
your
lot
light
of bones.
off, you finally catch the far wall. Right. So you can definitely tell this thing is 30, 40 feet deep at this point. You've kind of worked your way into this cavern. The sounds of your feet is echoing as you're kind of squishing through. And as you reach the far wall, you can see where the water sounds are coming from, because there's a section of the far wall where you're seeing kind of rounded exposed brick. So it's not the packed dirt. It's
Mhm.
almost like erosion has exposed kind of this rounded brick. And the brick is very old, and you can see water seeping through some of the creases in the mortar of the brick, and it kind of coalescing into this pool of water at the far end. And as your flashlight hits the water and the light reflects off of the water, you see rats that maybe have been drinking the water. I don't know, but they scurry away, and some hide into the walls, some hide into the bones. You swing the flashlight around to kind of look to your back left now that you've gone far enough into here. And you've got a sense at least of the depth of this room. And you can see, though you can't see the far left wall that's past the bones, the flashlight just doesn't reach that far. Cast in shadows, there's some sort of alcove or recessed area, a large one that you can't quite get the light to shine right on from where you are. That's was directly to your left as you entered the room, but now you've gone past us now to kind of the back left. So if you're facing north, looking at this exposed brick, this would be an alcove on the south wall. And from where you are, it's all cast in shadow, but it's large. It's got to be at least 15 feet wide, and it seems to extend all the way up to the roof or to the ceiling. But the way the shadows are, you can't quite see what's in there.
How far away is it from the pile of bones?
So you're roughly about 15 feet from the pile of bones, and this thing's about 15, 20 feet from the pile of bones on the other side of it.
Okay. Guys,
Are we looking for a key, or are we looking for a severed hand holding a candle, or are we just trying to get the hell out of here?
I don't think there is a key.
I mean, I didn't either until Roger still kept talking about it after the jig was up. I think there might actually be a key, but I'm okay if we're not looking for that.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, you're
Oh,
okay.
I swing the flashlight back to the pile of bones, and then I look back towards Paul, and I'm like, you don't think it would be in there?
I'm comfortable assuming it's not in there.
Okay.
Me too.
Me too.
Okay. I think it would be more I think it would be more dramatic than that, right?
What if the key is in the hand and that's the monkey paw?
Or the
Maybe.
key is the hand?
I
That's a
don't want to
little
pick that up.
metaphysical.
I mean, this is weird magic stuff, Charles. This is your like
Yeah, Charles.
you're the
what's
expert here,
what do you
right?
think?
Yeah, I don't know, and I kind of feel woozy. I can't
Oh.
think.
Shirley will go up to him and shine the flashlight in his eyes.
Do we have some water or
Look
something?
like he might have a concussion.
So his eyes are slower to dilate as you slide the
Oh.
flashlight into his eyes.
Charles, I think you might have a concussion.
Is that bad?
It's not great. It's not great. No. We should definitely get
Shirley.
you. If you feel sleepy,
Just don't go
like
to sleep.
you need to let us know. We can't let you go to sleep right now. You should be okay, but like don't push yourself. We'll just take our time. We got all night, clearly. So
I don't really
So
want to go
are-
to sleep in this room with all the bones.
of course.
And bats.
Bats are kind of cool though. Bats are
But
okay.
we do probably need to get you to a hospital by the end of this night. Like,
I mean, I'm comfortable saying we should all go to a hospital, but
I mean,
so we're looking for the hand, or we're looking just for a way out?
I think both.
Wolf.
Yeah.
Hand might
we should
point
look
to the
in-
way out.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the hand will. I'm thinking we'll at least get teased, right? Like I think we'll get teased with the way out, at the very least, and maybe we can like bum rush it. I don't know. I don't know anymore. We need to finish this through.
Yeah,
I
let's
just wanna
look in there
say-
then.
What if he never planned to let us out?
I mean,
And
that's why we gotta get out ourselves.
Shirley will kind of reach out and put her hand on Julia's shoulder, and she'll go, "Listen, we'll get out of here. We'll figure it out. Even if he doesn't plan to get us out, Charles knows what he's doing. He knows these stories. I know how to survive. You're brave and smart, and Paul's got tricks. So
And I'm here too.
Paul's got all kinds of tricks, so we can get through this. Okay,
Let's just stick together no matter what.
we're all
Okay.
smarter than Roger. Okay,
That's true. Yes.
even
We're all
scary
definitely smart.
demon Roger, witch Roger, whatever he is now.
And
We're
smarter than
him.
Ace.
Oh yeah, we didn't die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, let's continue past the scary pile of bones, and let's go to see what's in this space.
Just make sure you have the witch's bane out.
I got it.
So Shirley, you kind of lead the pack a little bit, kind of moving towards the bone, because you got to get closer to the bones to kind of be able to get the light shined into this alcove. And as you work your way closer, trying to angle the thing, right, to try to kind of get deeper into this alcove, and you're kind of catching the edges on there. I need a power roll, please.
Power. Da, da, da.
It'll be up towards the top. It's right next to your intelligence.
Go, go, go. 7.
Powerful.
All right. This is an opposed power roll.
Oh,
Don't mess with Shirley.
So you tied her.
Uh-oh.
You're able to see into the alcove. And the first thing you notice is some of the jars that you saw in the pantry kind of scattered on the ground in this alcove. And there's a woman sitting crossed legs on the floor. And as you look at her, who are you closer to, your maternal or your paternal grandmother?
My paternal grandmother.
What's her name?
Her name is Maggie.
That's Gamma Maggie sitting there. And wearing the dress that you last saw her wearing. Is she alive or dead?
I think she's alive, but I don't think she lives close by.
Yeah. And it's right?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
takes you aback that the Gamma sitting there in this mud, surrounded by these jars. I need a 1D. First, I need a sand check.
Of course. All right.
Grandma,
Shirley.
you're the witch?
Shirley, you've been so good. Yes, we continue to be good.
Unbelievable. I need a 1D2. So /R space 1D2. All right. Drop 1 sand for me. Where's that put you on your daily?
I still have 6 out of 13. So I have 7 out of 13 left. Right? That's math. Yeah.
So she makes eye contact with you. And now the flashlight is shining on this woman.
Mm-hmm.
Julie, I need a power roll.
Okay. I think I want to spend some luck on that.
All right. Go ahead and spend the 6 luck. That'll put you
Okay.
at a regular success.
Decent call.
Spend it now while you got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, this is opposed.
Because why would she not?
Remind me, the grandmother you saw in the mirror,
Mhm.
can you remind me who she was?
She was my father's grandmother who absolutely adored Julia.
And she's dead.
She is dead.
And remind me what you called her.
Nana.
Yeah, so the light shines and you see the same thing as Shirley, except it's Nana. Sitting there cross-legged, wearing the same thing she was wearing when you saw her in the mirror.
Nana?
Paul, give me a power roll.
Very powerful. Oh, come on.
Which is just rolling.
She matches you. You're going to see a grandmother or an aunt. Who do you see, Paul?
Probably my aunt.
Yeah. Alive or
Yeah.
dead?
Alive, but yeah, no, she's alive and she lives in the area. So could very well be her in the sewer with the pile of bones.
So quickly, Shadiq, I need your sand roll for seeing Nana.
1D.
Nope. Roll the sand first.
Okay. $55.
Okay, so I'll do a 1d2 for you as well. So /r space 1d2.
Oh, ignore that one.
I will.
Yeah.
That's a good roll for a 1d23.
One.
I was thinking the same thing for a 1d23. All right, so Julia drops 1 sand. Where's that put you on your daily?
11 out of 14.
All right. Same thing for Paul.
All right.
Sorry,
Sand roll
1d.
first
Oh yeah, sand.
against your 49.
Let me click. It won't let me click it anymore.
Okay, because I forgot to relock it. Give me just 1 second. All right, you should be able to now.
Yes. Oh, this is fine.
Oh, 1d2.
It's all fine.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Oh, of course.
Okay, so that puts you 1 past your daily.
Sure does.
Last but not least, Charles, I need a power roll from you as you see this woman.
Come on, Charles.
God, this witch.
Evelyn Barnaker. Everyone write it down.
So, Charles, who do you see?
I
Sitting.
think I see my mom.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Hmm.
So the 4 of you all see these women. 1 dead, 1 not living, tens, hundreds miles away. 2 dead, right? Nana's dead as well. And it takes you all aback. So breaking out just a little bit, just to give a little rules explanation. So normally in this situation in Call of Cthulhu, you have what's called a bout of madness when you're in Paul's situation. There's a lot of things I love about Call of Cthulhu. Not a huge fan of the sanity mechanic. There's a reason I've been calling it sand through all of this. So what I like to do is really not lean into the insanity trope. What I like to do in this case is we're not going to do a bout of madness. What in my mind, DZ, for Paul is you become irrational, right? So you break. And I don't know what Paul rational mind would do right now, but that's not what you're going to do. So if Paul has now been broken mentally to the point where questioning reality, questioning everything, and after all of these hours together, when you see your aunt, what do you do?
Paul loves this aunt, and he loves his cousins, so he is so relieved to see her. He is going straight in, like, oh, thank God, Aunt Ethel. Oh my God, this house is so messed up, and I'm going in like for the straight, like, I need a hug from my beloved auntie Ethel.
So the 3 of you hear him call your grandma, your mom, your Nana this name. All of you see her stand up, and you see her extend her arms to Paul as Paul starts just jogging and just trotting towards her. And you hear her say, "Oh, Paul, come on, give me a hug." Which to
Can I
Paul
trip?
makes complete sense, but not to the other 3 of you.
Can I trip Paul?
The house.
You try.
I would like to try to trip Paul.
Okay, let's do a gym class roll.
Okay.
So you extend it out, Paul, not purposely, but completely just takes it a pass. I'm going to give both Shirley and Charles an action before Paul reaches
Yeah,
his aunt.
she's gonna just
The house.
try to
It's so
tackle
scary.
him.
There was rats.
Yeah, she's gonna try to just straight out tackle him.
Okay. What do you think is a good roll for that? Shirley, looking at your character. A fighting roll, maybe?
Yeah, I think fighting.
Let's do it.
That ain't gonna work.
So how do you not reach him? Now, yeah, you're 30. That's a lot of luck. That's 20
yeah, I
luck.
was looking at that. That's a lot of luck.
You reach out. He's beyond your extension, Charles.
I think I'm
I'm
going
going to
to.
have you fall on your hands and knees right as you try to tackle him and you miss him.
Yeah,
Charles?
yeah. She's gonna fall probably face first, just like.
This is the most athletic that I've ever seen Paul.
Just jumping over trips and stiff arming a tackle.
Yeah.
Charles, you got one action.
I think I'm going to yell at Paul and try to use be a pal. So I'm going to talk to him and try to say, Paul, I see my mother. That's not my mom. That's not our grandma's. And just try to cut through, get to him.
Love it. Let's do a be a pal.
Nice.
What's Paul's reaction?
Possibly if it had just been any one thing, I would have been able to ignore it. But after an attempted trip and like sloughing off a tackle, and finally Charles' voice just breaks through after both of the other things, and I'm staggered, and it's enough to make me stop, and like I don't take my eyes off of mine right away, but then I finally break off, and I look back at Charles. I'm like, what are you talking about? What did you say?
I see my mom, and that's not my mom. My mom's been dead for 5 years. I think I could
But-
actually walk up to him and kind of put my hand on his shoulder.
But that doesn't make any sense. Nothing
Julia,
makes
who
any
did you
sense.
see? Julia, who did you see?
My grandmom.
Shirley?
Still.
Yeah, I saw I saw my Nana
You don't
Maggie.
saw anybody you see.
Yeah, I see my Nana Maggie. She's right there, but it can't be her. She's in Oregon.
See, we're all seeing different people. That can't be. It's got to be the witch.
How-
Get the witch's bane out quickly.
The witch. Oh, yeah.
So the woman each of you see stands and she starts to walk towards you. She goes, dearies, come here. I haven't seen you in so long. Give me a hug.
What's my middle name?
I love role playing with you. She stops. And Julia, things get blurry. And almost like your eyes are like you feel like me, it's not her, right? It's everything, right? The lights and everything. And like what's like, you start going like this with your eyes. And once you're able to refocus, unlike the other three, you see something different. You don't see your grandma. You don't see your dead mom. You don't see your aunt. You see this huge, unnaturally obese, naked woman.
Everyone get out your weapons.
With
That's not my grandma.
folds of skin and fat layered on top of each other like a melted candle. And the flesh is like this palish green, and she's bloated. She's like bloated and almost glistening like a huge grub. And her eyes are rotted away, and they're just empty sockets in her face. And she's got these few strands of white hair off of her scalp. She's got maybe 3, maybe 4, it's hard to tell, jagged yellow teeth that are inset in these receding purple diseased gums. and you see these large tumors all over her skin, and they're different sized, and they all have this white pussy center and just yellowing around them, and it's just all right there, right in front of you. Sandroll.
Yeah, my mouse is over it.
Oof.
Oh my gosh.
I need you to roll a 1d10, please.
What? Now I want to roll higher?
So where does that put us?
I'm at 17. My daily is 14.
So similar situation as Paul, Julia, whatever was a rational thought right now, whatever makes the most sense, whatever's the smartest move. This was the last straw for today. After everything you've seen, seeing this thing, this woman, whatever it is, how does Julia react?
Woo! Okay, I'm trying to think rationally. Well, okay, she's gonna scream. That's ear-piercing 11-year-old scream and slightly start like, I can't keep doing this. And she's about to turn around and head back where they came.
So you guys all see that. You see Julia just let out this ear-piercing scream, and you hear the fluttering above you. Shirley, all of you hear the fluttering above you as this cuts through, and you see Julia kind of back away, like, and you can tell by the look on her face that she doesn't see what she just saw a second ago, and then you see her start to run towards the tunnel you came in.
Shit, I'm still on the ground. That's Julia. Julia, stop!
No, we gotta go. We gotta go down. We gotta go. That's not a person. No, we gotta go. Rather fight Roger. Can't do this.
I think this makes me really, really angry. Because it's trying to pretend to be my mom. So I pull my knife and I don't charge, but I think I stand there kind of staring it down.
Give me a power roll.
Oof. Ooh. Right.
Everything I described, you now can see. So what was your mom before is now this huge, grotesque thing. And give me a quick luck roll.
Womp womp.
As you're taking in this bloated monstrosity that was your mom just a few seconds ago, you hear a sound. And it's a wet sound, a slime. And you see the expression on this eyeless woman's face as she goes, and you hear a sound from under the folds, emerges in this sack. One of those rat things, this huge possum-sized rat things, emerges out from under her in this sack. And you see it like stretching and pushing on the sack, and it turns its face towards you, and you see this child's face like through the semi-permeable sack as it's pressing on it. And rats that were in the bones scurry out to grab this thing and start to drag it. Shirley, Paul, you guys now all see this. The illusions is broken at this point. Julia's running towards the wall. And it's going to let me do this. Why isn't it not letting me do this? There we go. Okay, I'm going to need a POW roll from you, Shirika.
All right.
Shirika, you start running and you feel a force kind of reach, and it feels like hooks in your back. And you feel it start to pull you and like stretch you, but you're able to push past it and continue to run. But you felt this power, this pull that was trying to stop you as you continue to run down into the tunnel.
Shirley will
I need
look back.
a quick dex check now. I need to know everybody's dex. Who's got the highest?
I'm
45.
65.
Oh, one more time.
60,
60.
65, actually.
Somebody
Okay.
said 70.
You're
70.
Shirley, you're 70.
45.
45. Paul.
70.
All right. So both Paul and Shirley get to go first.
Well,
Then
no,
Charles.
I'm
then
sorry.
Julia.
Paul has 70. Me and Charles have the same.
Charles.
Okay, so Paul has the highest. So Paul.
I think I'm running after Shirley. Like, Shirley, wait, no, you don't want to be alone.
You mean
We have
Julia?
to stay together.
You're going after Julia or Shirley? Julia's the one running.
Sorry, Julia.
Yeah.
Julia. And yeah, whatever. If I can, like, if there was a way to taunt her into stopping, I would do that. But I'm just trying to reach her and get her to stop
Well,
and just
if
at
you
least
can- if you
wait
can
for
tell-
somebody.
So Paul is not Charles, right?
Yeah.
So what's Paul's move? I mean, taunting is something that Paul has done. Is there a way you could taunt her?
Possibly, but I I don't want to be mean to her. Like, am I able to like put that aside and be mean to her to get her to stop?
You're Paul.
I-
I'm not.
Julie, are you really running away right now? It's not. This isn't anything, you baby.
Let's do a taunt. How does that stop you, Julia?
Oh my gosh. She would like stop dead in her tracks and like fully like upset face turn around and say, I am not a baby.
And Paul
Charles and
Paul is
Shirley.
very much not looking at the thing behind him, so he's like dwarfed. It's like, wait, this is nothing. Like, what is this?
Shirley and Charles.
Shirley, you want to go first?
Yeah. Shirley will yell back to Paul, she's got the witch's bane. Get it here quickly. And then Shirley's gonna like size this thing up. And in this moment, like I think Shirley's been the one that's been like the sturdiest as far as like sanity this whole time, just like, like shrugging this off like this freaking weird, but she's in charge and she's in charge of these kids and they're her friends. And she is just determined that this thing is going to follow all the rules that things should follow. And so she is going to look back and she's going to say, get the witch's bane. And then she's going to pull out her gun and she is not going to give a warning. She's just going to fire at the thing.
Okay, so we're going to have that all be one action. So you're going to be prepped to fire the gun on your
Mhm.
next initiative order.
Yeah.
All of that happens. I do need a notice stuff roll.
Okay. It's actually pretty good. Come on, dice. Yeah.
The jars,
Mm-hmm.
not surprisingly, filled with eyeballs. But what's behind her, as you're kind of yelling and kind of moving your head a little bit, inset into this looks like hand dug smaller alcove in the very back of where she was situated. laying severed is a hand. And in the hand is a lit black candle. Charles, give me a
Okay.
notice things roll before your action.
Oh no.
You're pretty preoccupied. But
Yeah.
what you do see as you are taking your actions, you see her reaching back with her just grotesque grub ribbed hands, reaching into the jars and pulling out an eye and bringing it up towards her face. What do you do?
Am I close enough to take a slash at her arm with my little knife?
No, but you could take an action and get that close to her.
Yeah, I want to get that close.
Julia, what are you doing?
Oh gosh.
You're not a baby.
Oof, she's not a baby. They're gonna beat this god darn thing if it's the last thing that they do before they get out of here. Whew. She takes a deep breath and she's gonna head back in. Okay. All right. She's gonna grab possibly like the sharpest bone she thinks she can see.
Okay.
And she's like, not a baby. I think we should all just still leave. Rather fight Roger in this case, but that's okay. We can fight this monster. She's gonna pull out the witch's bane.
Okay.
Put some like on the tip of like a broken bone. She's gonna plan to stab the monster with this.
All right. Who's got the lowest luck right now?
I'm at 60.
Mine's 51.
I have 68.
60.
All right. Mine, me.
Shirley? Need a power roll.
Yeah. Shirley the superhero.
So Shirley, you've got the gun pointed, right?
Mhm.
You see her pop one of those, the eye that was in her hand, into one of her sockets. And you can see it kind of roll around until it centers on you. And you feel an energy go across your chest out to your fingers. And for a half a second, you can't move. And instinctually or by sheer luck, you kind of shake your head and kind of look away, and that feeling leaves you, and you're able to just, you can feel like you can move again.
Okay.
Paul?
Paul is very grateful that Julia did not take that personally and is not hitting him with the bone. But yeah, I guess I'll now that Julia's back in the fight, I'm gonna turn around and assess the situation. Is there a chance I can notice or I can roll the notice stuff?
Yep. Let's do a notice stuff to see if you see the candle.
Nice.
Okay, that's it. That's what I'm going for. I'm gonna try to get around the Binding of Isaac monster.
All right, so you start running, and we're going to have you kind of run past her and get to the alcove with this action.
Mhm.
Outside of Flabby Arm's reach, if possible.
That's fair.
Shirley,
Charles.
yeah, Shirley is going to look at Charles and she's going to say, "Get that jar." And then she's going to point her gun and aim, because she was the shooting range champion at last year's summer camp. And she knows she can do this. And she is going to raise the rating of this movie from PG to PG-13 and go, "Look at me, you ugly bitch," and then shoot her in the eye.
I like it. All right, so let me just double check. All right, do me a favor. Click on your BB gun pistol.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And does it let you roll?
It says proceed.
All
You
right.
have not selected a target. Do you want to proceed?
Don't worry about it.
Okay, so proceed.
And then you're going to do single shot
Da, da, da.
in the chat.
Yep. It's what is my handgun is right at 50. So
So you fail. So
okay,
you fire.
Can I put my luck into it?
You can spend 10 luck, sure.
Yeah, I will spend 10 luck. I got it.
All right. The damage on a BB gun is 1d3.
Mm-hmm. Nope, that's a D4. Hold on.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Hey,
Hold.
So you fire this pistol,
I just wanted to let you
and we see the BB. Well, we don't see anything, right? We see the little bit of smoke that comes from the BB gun, and we can't
Sorry,
see the BB. Yeah, that's okay. We don't see it hit her, but you hear it. You hear it,
Mhm.
and you see her react. You see her kind of like move back on her shoulder, which is where you think you might have hit her.
Right.
Charles?
All right. Well, I was going to slash, but since Shirley wanted me to go for the jar, I think I'm going to try to lunge and grab the jar.
Okay, you go down, you grab the jar.
And I want to throw it back down the hall where Julia and Paul are.
So
I
you
just wanna
really
throw it
can't,
back.
from where your angle is, you really can't, because you're kind of now at the
Okay.
alcove, right?
Okay.
So that's kind of down the hall and out of your sight a little bit.
Okay. If I'm
You got
in
the
the
jar in your hand. It's kind of
Yeah.
the sloshing liquid inside of it.
if I'm in the alcove, do I see the hand or not?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to throw it at the hand, at the candle.
Give me a fighting roll. You throw the jar, and we see the jar fly, and we see the liquid kind of flowing out of the top of the jar, right, as it's kind of spinning towards it. And you hit this hand and this candle, and it knocks the candle into the wall, into the back of the alcove. We see the flame go out. You see her turn and react. But what you all feel is the coldness of this cavern dissipates. And suddenly the atmosphere feels like the moist, wet, warm underground that it is. So what was chilly before just seems to dissipate and go away as we see this flame go out. Julia?
Okay. All right, that was weird. She wants to kind of assess the situation that they're in. If the monster turned around, honestly, not doing the best sand wise, she's gonna go stab her. Or at least attempt to.
And I think you do attempt to,
Yeah.
until something grabs your wrist
Okay.
and whips you around.
Okay.
And once again, you are face to face with Roger.
Can I stab him instead?
You sure can.
Long time coming.
This guy.
Literally. Screw.
So you should be able to click on the weapon under combat.
Okay, perfect. Small clip.
It'll ask you about a target.
Ah.
Ignore it.
Not now, Roger.
Small
And then go ahead and
clip.
click the fighting in the chat.
Son of a bitch.
So you swing, and he's going to go ahead and do his roll as well. He almost cat-like reacts, and you swing, and he's still got your other arm, and you swing, and he kind of pulls back on you as he rears back with his knife.
Oh my gosh. Is that all I can do? Oh gosh. Oh no.
Roll your dodge.
Okay.
Nice.
So he goes to return the favor, and you're able to, and he just falls short. So it's not as much as your dodge as the blade just kind of swings by your face as you kind of lean back just enough that the wind of the blade, you can feel the air coming off the blade.
Yep. She should have stayed home tonight.
Go ahead and give me a power roll,
All right.
Charles.
You got this, Charles.
Got this.
Very powerful.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, you do.
Woo.
Somehow, Charles, when that eye rolls around again to look at you, unlike the last feeling, which was over your entire body, you feel like that eye is trying to look through your forehead, trying to look into your brain. And by sheer instinct, you just know to shield yourself with your arm and to turn away from her, as you can feel her trying to press in with fingers that aren't there, that aren't solid, but you can feel them just like any other fingers there are. Paul?
Well, when Charles throws the jar and hits the candle, and we have the wave of like cold, I was headed for that, but like when it knocks it over and there's a clear reaction, I stop and I'm like, shrugging this at it, and I turn around and see that Roger's there and he's slashing at Julia. So that's like the first thing I see. So I'm like, Julia, no! And I'm gonna run and like try to either like just get that arm, or maybe like just ram myself into him to try to like knock him off.
Yeah, give me a fighting roll.
Oh. Well, about that.
Oh my
So
god.
you come in, Paul, and you're going to like kind of tackle him as he's holding with one arm. He holds Julia. He slashes at her. You see her pulling back. We hear the slogging of your feet as you're running now towards this. He pushes her and lets go of the arm and just backhands you as you come at him, and he knocks you down. He doesn't do any damage to you, but he knocks you to the ground, and just like you're of no concern, right? Just kind of slaps you to the side. Shirley.
Shirley is a little disappointed that her shot didn't do more, and this thing is now turned towards her friends. Are there any more jars of eyeballs, or was it just that one?
No, there's several. There's at least a dozen.
And can I see Roger around the bulk of this thing? Or
Yep.
Okay. Oh, what a fucking asshole. She's gonna yell out to her friends, like, maybe we've got to destroy that hand. Maybe it needs to be burned with the witch's bane. And then she is going to shoot Roger.
Got it. Let's go ahead and do that.
Better.
Roll damage.
Ooh, not as good.
All right. So you can tell that hit her. It doesn't seem to have deterred her at all. She's not moving. She's slow, but she does react.
Roger.
What's that?
I was going for Roger.
Oh, you're going for Roger. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let me change that. I was thinking you were shooting at her.
Shooting
You,
right.
you hit Roger. And as he's swatting his arm and he knocks Paul down, right? Knocks Paul to the side. you can tell you hit because his shoulder kind of goes back as it reacts to getting the bullet there. And Julia, you're close enough that you can actually see the hole that's been made by this BB. And as his arm comes back, you see this roach come out of the hole and scurry up his shoulder. Charles?
All right. I think Charles is going to do as much damage to the hand and all of the jars. So I think I'm going to go lunge for the hand first.
So you go to the hand, and what are you doing? Just going to crush it? What are we going to do when you get there? You get there.
Shake it.
I've got the monkey paw.
Make it give you the finger. Move the finger.
Hey, Roger. Check this out.
Since Charles isn't that quick, I think I'm going to grab it and throw it on the ground and just try stomping the crap out of it.
So you grab this thing, and as soon as you grab it, Charles, you feel like how decayed it is immediately, right? So it's soft and it squishes and it just makes a sound. And and you know, you probably have grabbed like at Spencer's Gifts, you've grabbed plastic fake hands and stuff. So it's just, oh God, and you throw it to the ground and you just start digging your heel as you stomp on this thing. And it's, you hear the crackling of the brittle bones in the hand as you just starts crushing it and decimating it into the ground.
Okay. Does she react anyway? No.
Julia?
Okay.
You're
I
now
see
free,
Roger.
thanks to Paul.
I see Roger. I look at the witch. She's going to yell, guys, every movie, we got to take out the boss. Oh God. She hopes she's not sending Paul to his death, but she's going to run at the witch and try to stab her.
All right.
Okay. Because if nothing's working, this is all she got.
Take out the boss. Got it.
Give me the fighting roll.
Oh no.
Bruh.
And you're going and just this fever, right? Just, we got to take out the boss, and you start running, and the slog of the mud and everything, you end up kind of like losing your footing, and you kind of fall to your knees, and you're like 5 foot away from her, and you just realize you don't have the momentum. You're not going to be able to reach her, and you're just there on your knees with your back to Roger and Paul. You're facing this thing, and you can see just the close-up glistening slime that's covering this thing, and the odor of her is just slapping you and pressing into your face.
Regrets were made.
Roger's going to take a swing at Paul. So Paul, he swings, Paul, you don't need a dodge roll, and he does not hit you. She turns to you, Julia. You see her head turn, and you see that eye roll to stare at you. Need a power roll.
Again.
Spin the luck.
I'm gonna spend 9 luck.
Save it, because she rolled a 19.
Oh,
It's opposed.
okay.
You fall to your knees, and you're there, and you see her turn, and like she has no neck, right? She just kind of the facial features just kind of turn and look down at you, and you see that eye and that feeling you had as you were running away that was only on your back. Now the pins and the hooks, you can feel it over your whole body. And your joints don't work. And you're frozen. And it's like that waking sleep that you hear about, where you can't move, you know you're awake, but you're frozen. And every signal coming from your brain is says, move my arm, move my hand, stand up. but your knees aren't reacting, your legs aren't reacting, nothing's reacting to the signals your brain is sending.
Mhm.
And the other three of you see Julia rise. And you see her lift up. As her arms stretch out, her hands fall to the puffy dress and press into the puffy dress. And the cheap costume, ballerina shoes that she's wearing on her feet slowly lift off the ground as she begins to lift and float in front of the witch. Paul, you just got swung at by Roger. The knife comes down. It comes short of you.
Yeah, I'm kind of like crab walking backwards to try to get up to my feet. And in the meantime, I'm like absorbing all this, and like I am absolutely useless in a fight. But seeing Roger and seeing him miss me specifically, and then seeing the hag and what she's doing to Julia, I'm like, is that? I'm looking at Roger at first. I'm like, is that all you got? Is that the best you can do? And you too, like the witch. Like, this is pathetic. I'm like, we're just little kids, and you're still having trouble with us. Like, come on. I'm trying to just like get everybody's eyes on me and try to distract the witch from her spell and everything.
Give me a quick taunt roll. I like that.
Nice.
Very nice. Very nice. A hard success. Shirley.
So Shirley knows the gun isn't really going to do anything. She sees Julia being lifted up in the air. The hand wasn't the key. She has this weird instinct that Roger may not have been lying about the key. From what she can see, is there any more to this alcove or any more to this space back there than where they are? Is there something behind where Roger is? Is there any
So
space?
are we going flashlight again and just trying to?
Yeah. We're just trying to look like, is there anything past Roger? Like, is
So
the key still there?
Roger came from the same
Way we did?
tunnel you did, right? So if you're trying to explore more, you're going to have to explore to the right a bit.
Okay.
And as you do that, you see it extends out to the right, but you see another tunnel to the far right.
I don't know what Shirley does here. Yeah, I think Shirley runs down that tunnel. I think Shirley books that tunnel trying to find the key. I think she thinks in her head that if she finds the key, it will magically fix everything.
So you and the flashlight start running towards that tunnel. It's going to take you a little bit to get there. It's a good 20, 25 feet away. And you just haul ass and you head in that direction, Charles.
Yeah, and she'll call back. She'll be like, guys, just hang on. I think I can find the key. We can fix this.
What you got, Charles?
All right.
You're
I think
stomping on this hand, right? And he's just crushing it into the muddy ground behind this thing.
Yeah, and I hear
Julia rising up in the air.
I think that makes me furious, right? Because Julia's the one that came down and checked on me when I fell down the pit. This thing has been toying with us, and I think I just kind of lose it and just charge with my little tiny steak knife.
Let's go ahead and roll.
All right. What is that, fighting?
You should be able to click under combat. You should be able to click the knife.
Yeah. There we go.
The business.
I'm going to give her the business.
Yeah.
That's what they should have named that skill. Give it the business. Okay, go ahead and click on Fighting Brawl in the chat.
How much did I miss that by?
What is your fighting is... So this is a mechanic we haven't used yet. So you missed it by 7. So there's 2 options you have here. One is to spend the 7 luck, right? And then she's
Mhm.
going to get a dodge roll. Or there is a push mechanic in Call of Cthulhu.
Mm.
Now you can push, which allows you to re-roll. But a second failure is much worse than just missing.
I think in the mindset that I'm in right now, I'm just going to keep going after her. So I think I'd push it.
All right, let's go ahead and do it again.
On 30%. Wow.
See you guys.
Now you want to spend you want to spend the 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the damage on your knife?
It's 1d4 plus 2.
Okay, so go ahead and take the 6 luck off for me.
Yeah.
And then when you click on the D4, we'll just add 2 to whatever you roll.
Okay. Oh.
We see Charles lunging at her, and right before he hits her, we see him slip. We see his right leg come out from under him as he's kind of trying to do like a lunge action. And he falls to his knees, and his hand with the knife hits the ground right at the base of her, right where there's no legs, right? This thing is just melted into the ground. And by sheer rage, we see him rear up and just lunge and stab this knife into her. And Charles, you see the knife enter her body, and it goes in. Your hand is just softened and slowed by the flesh and the fat as the knife dives in. And as you start to pull back, you hear her scream. You hear her go, "Ah!" And you see that you are tearing at her flesh, and the folds of the cut just kind of open, and you just see the layers of skin and fat as it just kind of opens up, and just this green ooze starts to come out of the wound.
Awesome.
Julia.
What can I do?
You can give me a power roll.
All right. $68. Okay. Cool.
Oh,
As you're trying to resist this, as you're trying to move, you start to feel like, wait a second, like, and you can feel, even though you're not moving, you can tell the signals are reaching your appendages, are reaching your fingers. And then it's as if a new level of power just pressed and stopped it, right? And sent the signals back and blocked it all. So you could tell you were making progress, but you're still frozen.
Okay. Okay.
Roger's going to go for Paul. You need a dodge roll, Paul. You need you to take 3 damage as he slices you into your arm. The knife cuts. Where does that put you?
5 out of 8.
Okay. So he slices at your arm, and the knife comes across. And for the first time, I don't know if you've ever been cut by a knife or injured in this way, but it's startling because it doesn't hurt. It's just clean, and it's the blood, and you can feel the wetness of the blood coming out of the wound before you feel any pain. Then the pain comes. It comes to you in waves. We see Julia there frozen. And then we see her start to float towards this thing.
Oh no. Oh no.
I don't like
Right.
Need a power roll.
Okay. Okay.
You do it.
We
Come
got this.
on.
We got this.
So you both got a regular success, which means she wins.
Can I spend 20 luck?
Yeah.
Well, that. Yeah, I don't want
Because
her.
that'll make it a hard success.
Yeah, I'm gonna just spend 20 luck. Come
Spend it.
down to 40.
So you spend the 20 luck. So we see Julia moving closer to her. And we see she's been facing you the entire time, locked on you with this one eye that just is loose inside of this socket. And this distorted mouth of hers starts to open
Huh.
and just unhinge and extend beyond her neck into her chest. And we see this mouth just open to like 3/4 the height of Julia. And we see Julia start to move towards this, but something stops. Something presses you and you're just there floating before you reach her. And those jagged yellow teeth and those purple gums are all there. And somehow, some way, Julia, you're resisting. You're stopping that pull as it's drawing you into this thing's mouth. Paul, you've been cut by this knife. Roger is there looming over you as you have just this cut on your arm.
Yeah, so last time I kind of like started my focus on Roger and then like tried to include the witch, but this time I'm seeing what's happening with Julia and the witch, and I'm focusing on her with the taunt this time. Like, yeah, I'm talking to you, you fat slug. You want her? I'm the clever one. Come on, you get the most out of me.
Let's do it.
Come on. Leave her alone.
I'm going to have her try to resist that. We'll see what happens on her turn.
Yeah.
Shirley.
She's still booking it down to this other tunnel. Just
So
trying
Shirley,
to-
you're booking here.
Yeah.
And I think it was mentioned when it happened. And it was Paul that saw this. But regardless of whether it was mentioned or not, as you running with a flashlight and the flashlight's moving up and down, right? Just lighting the walls and just going everywhere. And you're running towards this tunnel, which almost is a mirror image to the other tunnel. You come to, without a doubt, the largest cat you have ever seen. And it's in this gross, matted, like mangy fur. Did you see that taxidermy cat in the dining room? I can't remember whether you saw that or not.
I don't think I saw it.
Yeah.
No.
I was the only one that like noticed it specifically.
So you see this cat and you come to it and immediately goes at you. And not the first time a cat's hissed at you. This is different. Something's wrong. This thing is not a normal cat. It's still your action.
How big is this thing?
This thing is the size of like a small Labrador.
Oh, that's kind of bigger than.
Oh.
Pet Cemetery 1989, just to
Yeah, when that movie comes out, you're like, I've seen that cat.
Yeah.
The book 1984. If you're a reader,
I think she's already got momentum, so she is basically just going to run and kick this thing as hard as she can.
Give me a fight roll.
just a running punt. Like,
Yeah.
I ain't got time for you.
Punt the cat. Yes. Oh,
My gosh.
damn. Insane.
You're the actor, so you win, even though you both tied with extreme successes.
Yeah.
So roll me a 1d3.
The goal is definitely to punt it out of the way so I can keep running.
You kick this thing, and it flies against the wall, and this screech, and you almost hear a voice, like a small voice, not a cat voice, as it screeches as you kick it, and it goes flying into the wet wall of this tunnel. And you continue down it, and the flashlight is flashing as you're going and you're coming across.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just running.
Yep,
Just
Charles.
continuing to run.
All right. I don't think anything changes for Charles. He is not going to let his friend get eaten.
Stabby McStabberson.
Yep.
Human fighter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is not cool.
Nope.
You pull the knife back out, and as you're moving forward to stab it again, the knife hits, and between the slime on the handle, the sliminess of her skin, as you're about to puncture it, the knife blade like slides off of her, right? And the blade goes flying out of your hands, and you just kind of end up leaning into her, and you kind of like into a wet pillow, just kind of fall into her, and you just feel that skin and the tumors that are on top of the body. You're right in it as you can see the knife flying away as it slipped from your hand. Julia,
All right.
you gonna give me a power roll?
Yeah, let's do it.
Come on, Julia. Snap out of it.
Damn.
Why? Why?
So you're not able to break free. Roger is going to take a swing.
Oh, piss off, Roger.
Give me a dodge roll.
Shit.
He slices at you again for 3 damage. Where does that put us?
2 out of 8.
So he sliced at your arm before. You're kind of holding your arm. You're taunting the witch, yelling at her. You don't even see the knife come as it comes right into your clavicle, right into your shoulder. And he actually stabs you this time. And the force as he's stabbing you makes you fall backwards. And the blade leaves your body as you fall back. And you see the blood leaving, which tells you what happened as you kind of fall to your back. The cat stops and lets out this, at the same time, human yet inhuman sound that you hear from behind you, Shirley.
Mhm.
Need you to roll a power roll, please.
And dice. Don't fail me now. Ooh.
Need a sand roll, please. Okay. You stop at this sound, and it makes you freeze in your tracks. And unbelievably, this is the most afraid you have been this entire night. Despite
Okay.
everything that happened, the sound that this thing made makes the blood rush from your head, makes whatever veneer of bravery flow away, whatever natural bravery you've built up in your self-confidence all goes away, and you freeze. The witch, you see that eye just kind of loosely rolling around in the socket. Turn to Paul. We see Julia drop and fall into the mud. I need a power roll.
Oh. That's
Paul
fine.
has fallen onto his back. He has now got a slice on his arm. He's been stabbed in the shoulder. This thing turns to her with its huge gaping mouth. And Paul, you feel the pull. You feel the immobilization. You're here kind of like this now, right? With your arm and just the bleeding of the slice and the stab. And your hands extend out and we see the blood pouring and soaking your shirt as you now rise up out of the mud and start floating towards her and her mouth. We go right to you, Paul. I need a power roll.
Surely I can do better than a 99.
I'm Shirley, not you.
You continue
It's
to
still
float
calling
towards her,
Shirley, isn't
completely
it?
frozen. Shirley.
With the four luck, let me at least slow this down.
Yep. Spend the
Okay,
4
yeah.
and you stop
Yeah.
floating towards her, but you're still in the
Okay.
air.
Is there any way I can pull a Constantine at Roger as I'm floating and just like
So actually, that's going to give you a success in the power roll. You're actually going to fall to the mud. You're able to
Okay.
resist, and just the pure anger as you flip off Roger, you fall into the mud. Shirley, you are stopped. You can take an action to continue down the hallway. What are you going to do, or this tunnel?
What do I see so far down this tunnel? Nothing.
Nothing so far. Just continues on.
Now this cat is between me and everybody else.
Correct.
All right.
It's behind you.
Yeah. I'll turn back to it and go, "You're just a stupid cat," and I'll continue just speeding down the hallway.
So as you speed down the hallway or down this tunnel, the tunnel gets smaller and you're trying to move as fast as you can. The walls are kind of like funneling you up, but you are going uphill.
Okay.
And you finally get to, and it can't be more than 4.5 feet. So you're really kind of scrunched down. You can hear this thing behind you coming towards you, but you see the bottom of a ladder. Charles.
All right. So Charles lost his knife. I think what I'm going to do is reach into my pouch, and I have that piece of mirror, and I want to try to throw the mirror and stick it in her.
Yeah, you can use it just like the knife. So go ahead and just use the knife stats.
show her a reflection, show her how hideous she is.
I don't think she cares.
Everyone cares a little bit.
Did I fail
What
by
is your
one?
fighting?
You fail by one, you can spend some luck.
Yeah, spend some luck.
Yep, I'll do that.
All right. She does not get a dodge, so go ahead and roll the damage. Just use the knife damage.
Oh, I did something wrong.
Oh, you did a luck check by mistake. Just what
91
the
damage.
is 1d4. We add 2 to it, so just roll a 1d4.
Oh.
So it's 3 damage.
Mm-hmm.
You just start taking this mirror and you start slashing into her flesh. And it's just repeated, and your frenzy increases as you see more gashes opening up into her body. And she seems to be getting smaller, almost deflating as you're cutting into her. And this unearthly scream comes out of this huge extended mouth in her body.
Okay.
Julia,
Okay.
you're on
Right.
the ground, fully mobile.
She's going to get up. She wants to run where they had the monkey pole and the candle, which I think is right behind the woman.
Yep.
And she wants to throw it right into her maw.
Ooh, okay.
Like, hopefully that will destroy whatever goes in there, including this monkey paw and the candle.
So, Julia, you run to this thing, kind of scrambling, kind of running, then falling to the ground, and there's mud all over your dress. And you find buried in the mud because Charles has been digging it with his heel. You grab this thing, you grab the candle, which has been kind of broken into 2 pieces, but you grab it and extinguish it. And we see you scrambling back and preparing to try to throw this into the mouth of this screaming thing.
Yes.
Roger's going to run, is going to get within striking distance of you, Julia, but that's going to take his entire action, so he's not going to be able to strike you, but you've now got Roger running towards you with the knife, seeing what you're doing. The cat jumps onto your back, Shirley, and is trying to jump onto you. It falls short. You can hear it as you're kind of crawling. You see, and you just see it kind of, yeah, and you see the claws coming at you, and it comes just short of where you are. Paul, power roll.
Oh, yes.
Actually, no power roll. You fall. You fall into the mud as you see Charles just stabbing this thing with you don't know what it is in his hand. But you're seeing that. You see Julia kind of running. You see Roger running towards us as you just suddenly drop into the mud, and you see Roger running towards her.
Yeah, I mean, I've lost a lot of blood at this point, but like, I'm looking around and see Roger leave. I'm like, hey, excuse me, I was not done with you. Where are you going?
Go ahead and give me a top roll. Okay. So you have succeeded. Remind me on Roger's turn that you succeeded if I forget.
Okay.
All right. Shirley, you hear
So
this thing?
The cat missed me.
It did.
All right, I'm scrambling up the ladder.
You scramble up to the ladder. You're going. The flashlight's shining through this tight space, this wooden ladder. There's nails sticking out of it, and some of the rungs you grab and they break, right? They pull the nail out by just your sheer weight, but you're able to grab the next one, and you're working your way up, and it's got to be at least 15 feet. As you're halfway up, you can hear the scratching of the nails as the cat is climbing the ladder behind you. As you reach up there, you hit a wooden plank. Looks like a door. There's no handle on it or anything, but it's covering.
Does it move at all when I
Once you reach there, you hit it, and you hit it with your arm, and I don't know if it's locked or what, but it doesn't immediately react as you hit it. Charles.
All right, Charles is still going to stab with a piece of mirror.
You don't need to roll. You continue to stab with her, and everybody starts to see her start to fall and melt away. We see chunks of her start to fall off. You're seeing pieces of her liquefy in front of you, Charles, as you're stabbing at her. And she seems to be like falling into the ground and absorbing herself into the ground. And we start hearing screeches from the walls. We hear a cry from Roger as we see her just decomposing right in front of you. Julia. You got Roger running towards you. You see her falling apart. The mouth is just broken to pieces as you're holding the hand in this candle.
She's gonna take a breath. Her friends got stabbed. If Roger managed to stab her, that's okay. Hopefully this works.
Do it.
Tossing the items into her maw.
Okay, yeah, you throw the items into the maw, and they fall in there, and they go away. But she just continues to just kind of decompose.
Okay.
As this happened.
Okay. Then she kind of turns to face Roger.
I need a power roll from Shirley.
Come on, damn it. You can do it, Shirley. That's not going to do it. That's not going to do it at all.
That feeling of fear hits you again.
Yeah.
And you panic. And, maybe that if you were able to get leverage and kind of be able to secure yourself, that you'd be able to, hit your elbow up, right? And be smart about this and really try to hit on this thing to try to open up whatever this is. That turns into you dropping the flashlight and just frantically scratching at it, trying to ineffectually trying to break open the wood, but it's not working. Your nails are scraping into the wood, and you are in complete and total panic, and it just fills your body and fills it with you. Roger immediately turns his attention to Paul. Stops focusing on Julia, turns to Paul to try to do one last stab.
Come on, Paul.
I cannot see his results, by the way, so I have no idea.
Do you have luck to spend, Paul?
I could spend all of it.
You can't spend it on a dodge, unfortunately.
Oh.
What's 4 damage do?
Puts me at -2.
We see Roger turn to Paul as Paul is taunting him and bullying him like he has bullied other kids. And we see Roger walk up to Paul, grab every bit of fabric of his shirt, lift him up to face him. You're looking eye to eye. And he just starts shoving the knife into your gut over
Asshole.
and over and over again. We skip Paul. We go to Shirley. I need a power roll. You get your wits about you. You finally just like, ugh. I need a strength roll with a bonus die.
Mm,
Do you want to
what
push
I
it?
got 35. Yeah, I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna push it.
Roll it again.
No bonus or yes bonus?
Yes, bonus.
There we go.
So you get your wits about you and you start throwing your elbow into it, and it goes and it goes, and then you just lean back and put every ounce of any strength that has been inside of you, Shirley, and you come up with the elbow and it pops. And you feel the pain in your elbow, but it causes this door to fly open, and you see wood above you. A good like 2.5 feet above you, but there's space between where this opening is and the wood that's above you.
Okay, and I'll.
Charles?
All right. Is Roger facing me or does he have his back to me?
He's got his back to you and he's holding up and he's just continually stabbing Paul in his gut.
I think I'm just going to run into him and just use this piece. I've lost it because I've just watched my friend get stabbed.
You're coming from behind him. There's no way he sees you coming. He doesn't get a dodge roll. So just give me a knife roll. You want to push?
Yeah, I'm going to push.
What you're fighting?
30.
Pretty.
Yeah.
You got 14 luck?
Yep. I'll do that.
Add it.
Let me break out the calculator. So what do I need to do? Roll it?
No,
Nope.
you don't need to roll anything. So you're
Okay.
going to drop 14 luck
Yep.
out of that. And then I need a 1d4 and we're going to add 2 to whatever you roll.
Oh.
Nice.
In the spine.
So I need to very quickly figure out, Charles, here's the sequence of what happens. You come for Roger, you fail. Something causes you to push farther, move harder to hit him, in which you do. But by sheer luck, you're able to get to him, cut him, and happen. So can you walk me through that sequence as you run towards Roger's back?
Yeah, I think I've, every bit of rage that I have, whether it's my, family tragedy with my mother, watching, these people that I like who seem to like me, get hurt. Watching Paul get killed. I've just,
Easy with the
everything,
K word.
everything
We don't
within
know.
me. Okay, I think your kid's dead. Everything within me just is, coming out. So it's just like
Unleashed.
complete rage. And, at this point, he's the one that's been picking on me, ever since I got to this school. He's been mean to the rest of us while we're in here. Watched him kill his brother, and I've had it. So
You reach him and you start stabbing him the same way you
Mhm.
stabbed that witch, right? You just start hitting him with this glass knife, this piece of mirror in your hand. There's blood in your hands as the mirror has been
Mhm.
cutting you as you've been stabbing, right? So the entire thing is covered with the green grossness of this witch, your blood, and as you're stabbing it into Roger, expecting for Roger's blood to cover it, all that's happening as openings are being made in the back of Roger is we see these roaches escaping from the openings, just leaving Roger and just skittering over his back, coming up your arm as you just keep stabbing into him. Julia.
Um, she wanted the rage. She is going to keep attacking the witch.
So there really isn't much to attack at this point, Julia. She is almost completely decomposed in front of you.
Oh, then screw that. She's running up and stabbing stabbing Roger as well. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Alright. Click. Oh my gosh.
So you don't get to him in time, right? You're swinging and you're trying to not hit Charles and you're trying to navigate it. There's a whole melee here and you're just not able to get a clean shot as you try to swing at Roger through all of that as it's coming through. Roger drops Paul. Paul's body falls into the mud. He turns in reaction to Charles. And tries to stab you. And just can't turn around fast enough. As he's kind of trying to come around with the knife, he drops you, turns, and he's now facing you, and you're just continuing to stab him. So all that's happening is you're not, instead of stabbing into his back, you start stabbing into his side, and he's just rotating into it in no position to be able to get an angle on you with the knife. Cat doesn't follow you. Shirley.
Okay.
You break
I-
open, you see this space, you can hear the rain,
Mm-hmm.
you feel the night air fill and push away all these smells away, and you smell fresh air for the first time in a while.
Do I get a sense of where I am?
As you push your way up through where the door was, you can see out, and it takes a second. It's very disorienting, right? You see streetlights, you see the gate, you look to your left, you see this wood thing that you're under is falling apart farther down, and you realize you're under the porch.
Okay. She is going to look down. Is the cat still on the ladder?
Nope.
All right. She's found the exit. She's going to head back down the ladder.
So you immediately start sliding back down the ladder.
Yep.
Charles, let's keep stabbing.
Damn.
You can push.
Yep.
Come on,
There we
Norman
go.
Bates.
Extreme success. Roll the damage for me. 1d4 add 2.
Nice.
So Charles, it just doesn't stop. And when Roger turns to face you, He's putting his arm up, and like a shark, your eyes have rolled in the back of your head, and you're blind as you just continually, irrationally, you're just stabbing at him. And slowly pieces of him start to fall away. And slowly, what little things were holding his body together succumb to the escaping insects. And the spiders and the roaches that are coming from inside him just take over. And he falls into this mass of insects. And these insects just scatter away, leaving the empty skin and clothes of Roger. And it's like someone unzipped a costume and left it there. Julia is standing next to you. Paul is on the ground. His eyes are open. The blood is pouring out of his wounds, in his gut and in his shoulder. You hear Shirley yelling as she comes into the cavern from the tunnel. What is Shirley yelling?
She's going, I found the way out. We can go. We can go. Just watch out for wherever the fucking cat is.
Julia cries.
Yeah, I think Charles is crying too.
Over Paul. She's attempting first aid to stop the blood.
I think I walk over and Julia, we got to get him out of here. We can't leave him in here.
And it's my fault why he
Just-
died.
It's not your. We got to get him out of here.
Just
Okay.
just go.
I think I'm going to try to reach under his arms and try to pull him back down the way I heard Shirley.
And you
I'm gonna try
struggle.
to help.
Yeah, but Julie gets there to help, and you get him halfway there, and then Shirley meets you to grab his legs, his feet. And the three of you, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, but you all finally get up the ladder with Paul's body. And we'll leave with the three of you getting Paul past the gate as we see the sun start to rise. Let's go to credits. So, post-credits scene. We don't know how much time has passed. The only thing that we do see is the house. Dilapidated, broken, and as we're looking at the house, as under the sunlight, it looks just old and decrepit as the wrecking ball hits it. And we see it just collapsing. And then we see the workmen in their orange and yellow hats with their vests on, as it's obvious, maybe long overdue, that the town is finally demolishing this house. So I want to do a post coda in character, and then we'll talk out of character. But I want to know, and it can be the short term, it can be the long term. I want to start with Julia.
Hmm.
What's your post coda?
This entire situation changed Julia a lot. She's still the snob, of course, but now she's looking more into the supernatural, weird, macabre type things. Um, because even though her and her friends now weren't close before, it felt like she lost a longtime friend that night in Paul, and she absolutely feels it's her fault.
Yeah.
So she's going to take a lot of time to actually learn about this stuff and try so it never happens again to any other kid. But it takes a lot of convincing.
How about for Shirley? And again, it can be the next day, the week later, 10 years later, 15 years later. What's the coda
Yeah.
for Shirley?
I think that Shirley carries the level of guilt, like she knows she found the entrance, but she exit, but she really thought what she was doing is right, but she left her friends to fight this thing alone. And even though they might not have felt that way, she did. Um, so as years go by, she obviously keeps in touch with everybody. But I think that once she grows up, she basically determines to learn everything she can. And kind of like Julia, like this goes more in depth. She literally becomes like the librarian of this, like going to school, spending her time researching in books, probably doesn't really make very many more friends, like becomes this very serious, very like uh you know, the trauma of it just holds her in this very serious position for the rest of her life, and she is adamant that nobody else will be left behind.
I'd be curious, because it sounds like you and Julia, you had the same hyper focus. There's all kinds of things that can happen after something like this. Do you stay friends and in contact, or do you distance from everybody? What does Shirley do?
I think Shirley means to stay in contact, but I think that her singular focus, just keeps her out of that range where, um and I think she throws herself into some like dangerous situations over time. So she just like puts this sort of wall up between herself and everybody else in order to protect them, in order to protect herself.
Charles, what's your coda?
Yeah. Um, how do you overcome something like that when you're 11? So I think, Charles struggles a lot. And, you know, teen years and 20s, I think he's got issues with addiction and things like that. But, um, I think he doesn't necessarily stay in contact with people, but, when they reach out, he gets the messages. And I think at one point when he's kind of at rock bottom, he reaches back out to Julia and Shirley. And, maybe the path that Julia's on is, something that Charles can latch on to. And, that kind of gives him purpose. He's not going to let that happen to anyone.
Yeah.
And becomes kind of a whatever.
And I think all of you were heroes in your own way, but I think the real hero is Paul, right? With the taunting, the getting the attention drawn to him. So I guess for you, DZ, where did that come from for Paul? To
I'd
say,
love to add like to wrap those three together and
yeah,
have like a scene where this all happened when they're 11 or something. We can cut forward to like we see the demolition, and then we cut forward to maybe they're 14, like standing outside of whatever it was demolished as, and then maybe cut back to them when they're 17 and constructions began something, and you're not exactly sure what it is, and then it cuts again. They're like 20, and it's like an apartment complex, and it cuts between like the 14, 17, 20, maybe like when they're older too. And even if they haven't like stayed in contact, they get together like on the anniversary of this day, and someone like brings like a firecracker, and they set it off and throw it into like the yard of whatever the place is,
I love that.
just to like mark what they went through together.
Yeah. I love that a lot.
And as for your question, like the taunting, like it's what I said. Like Paul is out. Like he was not going to be able to do anything. He was not going to be able to shoot or stab or throw or even like put up any kind of fight against Roger or the thing. So that was what he could do, and like that he needed to be helpful and be able to try to do something, and he trusted in Charles and Shirley and Julia to be able to figure the situation out if he could just give them more time.
Yep. So DZ, how many games have you played with me now? You played this, played Star Wars, and the third one
Right.
was, what's that?
Mothership.
Right, in Mothership. Where does this rank for you? So if you were to rank those 3 games as far as just all combined, right? The
Yeah.
fun, the excitement for the next episode, the impact. How would you rank those 3?
I rank them all as number 1.
Oh, geez. Okay.
I love them all. But yeah, no, I love them all for different reasons. Like
Yeah.
this one, we got to like take on roles that I know in Star Wars we're playing like aliens and droids and stuff, but we're adults and we're like, you know, doing heroic things, and we're doing the things we see in like our favorite movies and TV and stuff. And that's a little more familiar. And in this, you have to put yourself into a totally different mindset as a child. And you know, I was saying before, like I love a good session 2 where everybody starts to like come into their own as their character, and we start to figure out what everybody's about. And that, like the session was great, and we got like a really nice payoff for several things. But that session 2 was really special to me, just to see everybody shine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Mothership was fun because I got to be an unnerving android asshole.
We still got to see whether the Buddy Cop sequel comes out for you and
It's hard to beat.
You and Kyle. All right. Shanika, same thing for you as far as like you've played in 2 pretty intense horror games with me. You played in The Fear Itself and you played in this. How do they compare for you?
Oh my gosh. So Fear Itself was my first ever thing to play with you, and I absolutely love it. I think for me that one will always be my top one. Just kind of how everything wrapped up, the interactions with each of the characters. It was a bit longer, so
Yep.
we had that option. This is also intense because it's different than think like a 20-some-year-old versus an 11-year-old, where you know Shadika would do this, but Julia would not
Yeah.
think this. um so I'll honestly have to say I loved all of them, and I like the intense horror where it's like wow, and I wasn't expecting anyone to die until toward the end, where I was like, oh crap, he can't dodge this.
Yeah, I mean, there was a better than even chance all 4 of you were going to die.
Yeah, that I thought that toward the end there, I was like, oh man, we're not getting out of here alive. Or oh man, Shirley's gonna be the only one that survives this.
Charles, wow, Kevin, for you, where is horror as a genre for you for TTPRGs? Do you like horror? Is it new to you? Is it something that you prefer? Do you prefer other genres? Where does horror fall for you?
I think it's one of my favorite, genres. It's something I've been interested in ever since I was a kid. I was in 6th grade and I read Dracula for a school, project. So
Great book.
I'm a little bit like Charles. So no, I think that's a genre I liked. I didn't know how dark this was going to get, but it got pretty dark.
Yeah, it's tough too because I'm sensitive to these are kids, right? And if you've ever played with me as a player and we discuss lines and veils, it's
Yeah.
hurting kids is one of my first lines and veils. I don't want to see it. I don't want it to be a part of the game. And I struggled with this one.
Mhm.
And and people that are knowing doesn't know this, but there's an X card always in play. So any of these players at any point could have, we have a signal that we use to say we would have stopped. So I was trying to be careful. Dance a very dangerous line for me as a GM. And luckily I didn't push too far for any of you. And obviously didn't push beyond my limits, but that was the kid thing was tough. And I wasn't like, I like the
Yeah.
scenario a lot, right?
Mhm.
There's something really kind of familiar about the scenario and cool to
Right.
like kids on bikes type thing. But I struggled at. Of everything, Maeve, over the 3 sessions, what do you think worked the best for you? So as a person who runs games, what clicked the most, either within the cast or the way the game played out? When you look back on it and say, this was the best part of these 3 sessions, what worked?
Right. I will say that I feel like you ran this as deftly as you always do. The pacing and the tension building was great, but I think the 4 of us as a team fitting into our characters
Yeah.
was the best thing for me, because like as a player, I wanted Shirley to stay and fight, but Shirley had to find the way out.
Yep.
Shirley had to be the one to find the way out, and that's what she was gonna do. When the shot didn't work, she took off. She had to do that, but I really wanted to stay, and watching each of the players come to grips with that situation that we've never been in, but these kids are in, and everybody's sort of masterfully creating. I think that's my favorite thing in role playing of all time, is taking a couple words and a set of stats and creating
Yeah.
a story, creating a
Yep.
person, creating a sort of like, they're not real beings, but they feel like real beings.
They do.
Right? And some of those characters kind of take on this life of their own, and they become, we remember our characters for ages. That's why us gamers, long-term gamers, will be like, I had this character back in like 1988. And it was cool, and
Yep.
like,
Well, there's scenes that we played out over these few sessions you're going to remember. You're going to remember a year from now, right? They're going to be as much as you watched a movie. And I love seeing story come out of play as we played. But I think what I love the most, and I'm not worried about it with the 4 of you, but it's a struggle for other players, is forget winning, forget losing, just find your character.
mhm,
And put yourself there and react, which the 4 of you did an amazing job of. And quite frankly, all 4 of you make it out of there alive. All 4 of you die in the basement or in the cavern. Wouldn't change the enjoyment that we had as we saw this play out, right? And I think that we can forget that when we play,
mhm,
right? That we can forget, and that doesn't mean you can't be disappointed by a failed roll or disappointed if your character dies. But if you say, at the end of this, we are going to have a shared experience and tale, however it ends, I think that's the way to go into it, where I find the most joy. I don't find joy in killing my players. I don't find joy any more than I find them succeeding, right? But what's really what's really cool is to watch 4 players at a table just chew up their characters and just, this is what my character will do, and finding that. And I believed everything that we did, which
and
was really
I
I had
have
a
to
lot
give
of fun.
I had to give huge kudos to our buddy Charles.
Oh,
It's his first time on stream. Like,
Yeah.
that can be exceedingly, and I get the feeling, Kevin, that you're not like a person who's usually putting themselves out to the public.
Right. Yep.
And that could be, scary for the dozens of listeners.
He was a pro.
But you
Well,
did fantastic. I mean, you did as well as me or Shadika or DZ, who are kind of like old hands at this point.
Yep.
Like, so I have to give you a huge round of applause. You did a great job. Charles was a
Thank you.
fantastic character.
Yep.
And you just embodied him, the sort of like awkwardness of him, the opening up to the rest of us, just the whole character arc of Charles was fantastic.
There's a
you.
subtlety that's hard to achieve, but
Yeah, I
Agreed.
agree. And I can tell you that, people that have watched the channel a lot are familiar with 3 of these players, but not familiar with you, Kevin. But somebody watching for this first time would not know that
Yeah.
this is your first time playing with me or playing with any of these players. We have run really long, but we had to wrap this up. So I appreciate it. I'm going to jump to the end, like, subscribe, the whole thing. Appreciate you watching. Howdy, friends. Thank you for watching. All our content is archived and organized in playlists on the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel. Check it out. And if you could like, follow, subscribe, and even set your notifications to this channel on YouTube and Twitch, we'd appreciate it, and it'll make sure that you catch all of our content. I talk with creators, designers, and experts across the gaming landscape in every episode of our podcast, Tabletop Talk. Open up your favorite podcatcher and search for Tabletop Talk from Third Floor Wars. Support your creators. They make the content you love, and it's your support that makes it happen. If you want to help us, go to Third Floor Wars on patreon.com, and you can help us for as little as $1 a month. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Take care.